Monday night is fashion night, as you all know at this point. And we have our fashion police right here. Dirk Kennedy is not with us tonight. He's had a bit of a last minute issue. His beloved cat, beautiful Laverne, is feeling a little ill. So replacing him this evening is my good friend, Nathaniel Hannon. Thanks for standing in for Dirk, Nathaniel. You're the man.
I could never replace Dirk.
Oh,
So I will only rent his shoes momentarily.
it's nice to have someone new though. To see how that goes.
And you're looking nice, man, with the pink, rocking the pink.
Thank you. Certainly a better outfit than while fixing an exhaust manifold today. I drew the red water. I'm not sure if you can see that cut, but it was nasty.
Really? You didn't put a bandage on it or something?
It stopped bleeding. I'm good.
Proper man.
I was gonna say.
And then the person that everybody wants to see, apparently, like you're the only reason anybody watches the bloody episodes at this point.
It's
Michaela
not
de
true.
Chatillon.
Well,
How are
I'm
you,
flattered.
darling?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, as always.
Is it as hot and humid there as it is here in
No,
Venice?
it's
Because here it's brutal.
no, it's been like that the whole week, but today is cold, rainy, gloomy. It's kind of nice, though.
That happens a lot in Seattle, am I wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely overplayed how much it rains here. Even though maybe if you're actually measuring how many inches of rain we get per year, it's a lot. It's just all in one day. It doesn't rain every day here, but we get a lot of gray skies. It's just gloomy gray. But our summers are typically very beautiful, so that's why everyone stays.
Both of the summers I worked in Seattle were absolutely gorgeous. The temperature was
Yeah,
like 70,
so nice.
75 every day. Blue skies every day. The air show was awesome both summers.
Yeah, exactly. Makes it worth it.
What's the
Yep.
air show? I'm not aware of an air show that happens there.
So Lake Washington is a body of water in Seattle, and they do a big air show.
Huh.
Military planes, not military planes. They do some stunts. It's all over the lake, so everybody surrounding the lake can see it. It's very cool.
I wasn't aware. I'm aware of like Fleet Week in New York, and of course in San Francisco with is it the Blue Jays or what are they called? Those planes?
Blue Angels.
The Angels, Blue Angels, Blue Jays. I'm thinking of the what is it? The football or the baseball or something from Toronto.
Baseball, Toronto.
I'm all over the place. Yeah. What are we wearing tonight? Let's start with you, Nathaniel. What have you got on the wrist?
Well, we've got the Yachtmaster 2. Yellow gold.
Ooh,
Very nice.
dude. Is that the one with the inscription on the back?
That is the one with the inscription from my student.
Are you allowed to
Received
show
this
us?
as a, yeah,
Oh, yes.
received that as a present some years ago now from young Brittany
That was
after
quite a
torturing her
gift.
for 5 years.
What a wonderful gift.
Especially after torturing. What did you do? Teach her Latin?
Yeah.
Is that what that
Yeah,
is?
I was gonna say.
Among other things, yeah. I started with her senior year of high school and carried on with her all the way through college.
Wow.
So she had some learning issues that meant that she couldn't learn in a traditional classroom. Lectures were lost on her. So I had to learn what she was supposed to learn, and then I had to teach it to her in a way that she could understand. And that's one thing in high school, which is my normal gig. College is a whole nother animal. I feel like I got another BA.
Worth a
Amazing.
Rolex, though.
With a Rolex.
With a Rolex, that thing must weigh like 250 grams or something. It must be crazy.
It's something like that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the largest gold Rolex that Rolex makes. So
That's a lovely. Is that a chandelier behind you with crystals?
yes, it is. You are looking at my dining area
Very
back
nice.
there.
Looks cozy,
Dining
but I
cabinet and
love the
everything.
chandelier and the dark wood furniture. Beautiful.
Thank you. I bought this house 7 years ago, gutted the entire thing. You could see all the way through, end to end, through the studs, and then just basically rebuilt.
Wow.
So
It's a
Did you
lot of
choose
work.
that color, that burgundy or whatever it is? What is it on the walls?
I did. It is a deep red.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's I spent more on the renovation than I did on the house.
Yeah,
That's what's
it's
going
a
to happen to me in my place here.
painful
I'm wearing
process.
I'm wearing the AP. I'm going AP tonight, as I have a lot, but I'm not wearing the brand new one. I'm just doing the offshore chrono, maybe the most me watch that I own, Evil Watch. I remember when I picked it up, I went out for drinks. I met my daughter actually in the city. I said, "Oh, by the way, your dad picked up another watch." He goes, "Oh, surprise, surprise!" And I said, "What do you think of it?" Because I hadn't gotten one of these before. And I said, "It's kind of evil, isn't it?" And she goes, "Yeah, there's only a certain kind of guy who could wear a watch like that, Dad, and you're one of them." So I was like, "Okay, I'll
Did
take that
you
as a."
did you deem it as evil, or did she give it that nickname?
We both agreed that it was cattivo in
Oh,
Italian.
I thought you said evil.
I
Okay.
did. I said evil.
Oh, okay,
Cattivo.
okay.
Cattivo is like bad. You're a bad guy. You're an evil guy.
Okay. Well, so it must be
Evil.
working out for you if you're wearing that watch.
Wow, yeah, it suits me, or at least I try to carry on that character. Let's have it, Michaela. The moment everybody's going to play back, apparently, over and over again. Here we go. Let's give it to everybody. What are you wearing on the
Yes.
wrist?
Well, mine is incredibly underwhelming compared to your watches today, but I'm wearing a Seiko land tortoise.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
nice.
If you can see
Very
it, always
cool.
struggling to show that a bit here, but
Nice colors.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I thought it was pretty.
It's kind of bronze color.
Yeah, it's like rose gold, brown dial. So it's a nice combination together.
And
That is
that's
a
the
good
one with the
combo.
smooth bezel that smoothly shifts from side to side, correct?
Yeah.
When you turn the bezel, there's no clickety
Yes.
click, right?
Yes, I don't like to mess with it too much, but I just set it and leave it. But yes.
That's you got extra brownie points from my crowd. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, thank you for the
Yeah,
brownie
because the
points.
Seiko guys, the
I'm collecting
Seiko,
them.
yeah, because Seiko is cool without being expensive. That's the thing that Seiko do. They make amazing watches without being too expensive. Tonight's theme of the evening is the Hollywood stars, the action men of the movies of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We are going to start with, because watches have been a thing in cinema for such a long time, especially for action heroes. We're going to start with Sly Stallone. Let me share a screen up here, wherever where he's gone to. All his various watches. Now, as we know, Stallone put, I can share a better picture than that actually. He put Panerai back on the map when he wore, it was a Panerai in the movie Daylight, where they're all stuck in a tunnel, like one of those underground tunnels. I don't know. I can't remember. I actually never saw the movie, I'm ashamed to say. But they're stuck in an underground tunnel and he has to find their way out. There's cars on fire and all sorts of stuff. And the one on the right, the Richard Mille on the left came later. Let me see if I have a better photo. There's Jason Statham. We're going to get to him. There's a later one of, that's one of him when he's younger. Anyway, the one on the right is the Luminor Panerai that he wore in that movie. And he made it famous and he pretty much put Panerai back on the map. All of a sudden, everybody started paying attention to Panerai again, because it was the kind of survivalist watch. It was a huge watch. It's got a massive dial with huge lume, which is perfect for underground stuff when you're working in the dark and trying to get through a crazy situation. That's what they were designed for. How do you guys feel about this watch?
I like it. I feel like it's simple, structured. I do think it's cool that it kind of brought popularity to the brand once he sported it and then continued to do so. But I like it. Not to speak on the Richard Mille, though.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that Pam too. I think it's very simple, great lines. I think probably better for his wrist than for mine, but no, it's a beautiful, clean design and it's a gorgeous watch.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Panerai myself. Look, big wrists, it just works. And again, you can see in the shot there that he's like it's loomed up and everything. I don't know if they did that deliberately. Had they any idea it was going to have this effect on the brand? Who fucking knows? But it definitely works for that kind of rugged man kind of survival, like a firefighter look. That kind of
Yeah, I was
hanging
seeing
on.
there's some debate on whether he says that he stumbled into a boutique in Italy and got this one. I believe it was this one. But there's debate whether that's truly what happened or if it was product placement. What do you think?
I don't know. From the stories I heard, I think it just happened by accident, but then it just moved from there. I'm sure he placed it in different places beyond there, and I'm sure this happened then in many movies after that. But who knows? Maybe I'm just naive. It was 1996 when this happened. I know Panerai they shot back onto the landscape of watches well into the 2000s after this. It just became the rugged man's watch. Which
Looks
is
good
what
on
it was
him.
supposed to be. Yeah, it looks great on him. And he's got the right wrist for it. He's actually not he's not a tall guy, but he's got some decent arms and he's a muscular dude and so on.
Very muscular dude. I would guess that it wasn't product placement simply because I'm pretty sure that he continued to wear this watch publicly for some time. And I don't think he was a brand ambassador for them.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
I think it's real.
Yeah, I prefer the romantic story anyway. He found it in a boutique and it ended up hitting it off. So, but yeah, that makes sense. I
think
was
it's
just
all-
reading some debate online about it.
Yeah, I think it's always cool when actors wear real watches, like their own watch on set. They ignore the because a lot of prop management, they have a lot of watches, fake watches normally, and they pick whatever might suit the character they're playing. But I know guys like Russell Crowe and so on tend to bring their own real watches onto set. They'll buy a watch or they'll have a watch in their collection that suits that character. And they're like, no, I'm going to wear this thing because it's going to sparkle a lot better on camera. At least Russell Crowe pertains that's the case. I think that's what happened. I think it was just a happy accident. That's my guess. But it's hard to know. But one thing's for sure, man, everybody went crazy about them. Of course, these watches were originally designed for the frogmen of the Italian Navy back in the fascist days, back when they were actually fighting the Allies. And they would go underwater and strap bombs to the undersides of ships. This, of course, is the famous crown that locks over to ensure that it's well sealed so it can survive underwater. And these originally were watches that were based on pocket watches that were turned on their side and, put inside a case. The loom, of course, was super important. You're down in dark waters. You want to see the time. No fluff, no bells and whistles, just simple time. No seconds hand needed, just the general time.
Yeah, I like the simplicity. It makes sense, especially in the movie world too.
Yeah.
Do you know whether they originally wore them during the war on leather or what the strap situation was?
The strap was normally like a Velcro or a fabric strap, and it would go outside their wetsuit. There wouldn't be any leather. In fact, the original
That'd make more
lugs,
sense.
yeah, the Radiomir was the first one. This is the Luminor that came after, and this has built-in lugs. See these lugs that are part of the watch. Originally, they were just wire lugs that were kind of soldered to the case,
Yep.
or bolted in, like pushed inside the case and then bolted in on the other. There's just wire, a piece of wire to hang the thing. And NATO straps or fabric straps were used. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely one of the great tool watches. Not hugely popular in Italy, and I'll tell you why. There's a few reasons why I get this question all the time. People are like, don't they all wear Panerai over there? That's the only famous Italian watch brand. But there's a problem with them, and that is because of the fascist connection that they were actually fighting the others, they were fighting on the side of Mussolini, you know. So there's that association. And there's plenty of people in this country that would be happy to wear them for that reason, God knows. But the other thing as well is these watches ain't for an Italian arm. Italians aren't generally a big people. I walk around and people ask me all the time, "Are you hungry? Are you hungry?" You know, because I'm just a bigger guy than most of these dudes walking around. And it's true. Like, they also have a love affair in this country with Rolex. Rolex is like a status symbol for them, like it is around the rest of the world. And they it's like a watch is a Rolex to them. It's like there is no other brand. You have your Rolex or you don't have a watch. So Panerai, for some
Panerai's
reason,
got plenty of that history as well, given that Rolex was making their stuff.
yeah, Rolex was the internals for these watches for a long time. That is true. Yeah, Rolex was building their movements. So it's an interesting brand. Now, they made some mistakes later on. They made the Luminor Due, which is a slimmer watch. This is quite a thick watch, and it can resist 300 meters, I believe. Then they made the Luminor Due, which has the same aesthetic, but it only has 30 meters of water resistance. So a lot of people are like, well, what's the point? Like, the watch, you've lost the spirit of the watch. In fact, I met the ex-head of Panerai in America right here in a bar in Venice by accident. We were sitting at a table, myself and a friend, talking watches and exchanging watches and all of that. And they were sitting at a table next to us. They're like, do you mind if we ask what you're talking about? And we're just into watches. Oh, we're into watches too. And it turns out that the lady sitting kind of adjacent to me, she's like, I used to run Panerai in the United States. I'm like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the gin joints. And
small world.
Very small. And I said, you don't anymore? And she says, no, I left them when they made the Luminor Due because it lost the spirit of the brand. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of punctured a hole in Panerai. Then they started using ETA movements and, you know, and then some of their movements were going out and apparently they weren't up to scratch and so on. Somehow Panerai lost its grip. But for a good, I guess this film was 1996, easily 10 years, Panerai were at the forefront of, like, you want a real watch? Are you a real man? You need a Panerai. That was the status of Panerai for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of the Italians I know here, they love Rolex. They're all wearing Rolex. Even here in
everywhere.
Washington State. Yeah, the very Italian men that run the restaurants, they're big fans. Never seen them wear anything else, honestly.
Yeah, just a friend of the watch community, Diego, is in town right now. I was actually just out with him there for a couple of hours. Him and his new bride, and we were talking about that. And he was shocked at how many 5-digit submariners are all around the place. Like the taxi drivers, the guys with the gondolas, everybody's got a 5-digit sub on their wrist. The 5-digit means Michaela means like the pre-ceramic. The submariners from the 2000s, the late 90s and the 2000s, they're just kind of everywhere. It's just a thing you get. You know, a lot of people here, when they graduate, their family buys them a Rolex. You know, they get a Datejust or they get a Submariner. So somehow Panerai just kind of got left behind. But it's still a popular thing. Here's one guy bringing it back into fashion again a little bit. Another tough guy. It's a shame we don't have Dirk right now because he'd be like, Dirk really fancies this fella. He's just like the coolest fucking guy, muscly, built again. The same kind of image.
Back when he was into BMWs. I liked him a lot back when he was into BMWs. The original Transporter movie is what inspired me to buy that model of 7 Series, which I still have sitting in the carport.
Really?
Yeah. So Transporter came out, I think, while I was in graduate school in the UK. And I had no car. I had never had a car. I did not have a driver's license because I grew up too poor for that. And came back to the United States and very shortly thereafter bought the same model of 7 Series as appears in the film, and then started modifying it. So now it's ridiculous with over 500 wheel horsepower. So now this guy made a difference to my car journey.
He inspired you. Someone in the chat
Yes.
said Bruce Willis light. That's funny.
Kinda.
I don't really agree 100%. Is this guy very tall? To me, he looks really short, but maybe it's because his wife is a supermodel.
He's tall.
Yeah, she's like 5'11" or 6 foot something.
They all do that, doesn't the singer from Maroon 5 is the same. He's like, he married a supermodel who's 6'1" or whatever she is.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he looks tiny in all the photos. Now, this guy is not a particularly tall guy. I think he's 5'9", 5'10", maybe. But again, it's the rugged look going with the
Yep.
Panerai. It's like the invincible man. It's that kind of thing. It works well.
Yeah, he also looks
Muscly
very.
bits.
Yeah, he also looks very serious. He's a very. I'm not gonna say stoic, but it almost appears that way. He doesn't seem like a big smiley, nice guy. Not that he's not nice, but you know what I mean. So I feel like he makes this watch feel even more masculine because he's wearing it. Also, like the effect that him driving that really cool car had on you was because you saw him and you're like, oh, he's actually someone aspirational as a man. So, yeah, I saw this funniest thing. This is so random, but I saw the funniest thing. People were like photoshopping hair on him and saying like how much better he'd look. But I actually like 100% disagree. I think he looks great without hair. Some guys really pull it off. So if you're balding out there, don't feel bad. There's hope.
Depends on
gotta
how
stop
your head
smiling.
is shaped.
Oh, for sure.
He's got the right shaped head, and he doesn't have weird depressions or crevices or lumps or things like that. He's got a normal, smooth, proportional head. I don't think I would be the same.
Yeah, it kind of makes him look like a hitman. That's why he's like appealing in that way. Well, that sounds really
Funny
dark,
you
but
should
know
say
what I
that.
mean. Why is that funny?
You should say that since he's played hitmen.
Yeah, exactly.
The transporter was a hitman, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, what came first?
Kinda.
Is he always been like that, or did the characters turn him into that? Who
Well,
knows?
I don't know
have
the
you
answer
ever
to that
seen the
question.
film? Have you ever seen the film London? He was in a film called London with Jessica Biel and her then boyfriend, who's now Captain America. What's that guy's name?
Chris
Captain America.
Evans.
Chris Evans. And he's in that film.
It's just London. That's what it's called.
It's called London because her
Let
character
me see.
is her name is London, and it's a
Okay.
very interesting film. I think you guys should watch out for it. And it's about Chris Evans is the ex-boyfriend who's not taking the breakup very well, and he's like
Okay.
drinking too much and passing out, and he looks like a mess. And he's invited to a going away party. She's moving out to LA from New York. And Jason Statham is in town, and he's a bit of a drug dealer. And he gets invited. He delivers the cocaine because Chris Evans' character needs the cocaine really bad to get him through the evening because he's so depressed that his ex-girlfriend, the love of his life, has met someone newer, better, shinier. Right? There's a quote from High Fidelity: "Newer and shinier." Right? So he has to go along to the going away party, and he's in the entire, pretty much most of the movie takes place in the bathroom where they're snorting the coke. He invites Jason Statham, who's the dealer, along. Who it winds up like a big therapy session in the bathroom, and Statham has hair in it. He has a wig in it. Let me see if I can find a photo of him in the movie. It's actually a really good movie, and it went overlooked for a long time. Let me see if I can find a photo with hair, and you can tell me.
It looks entertaining.
I mean, it's actually a kind of cool movie, and the reason they okay, here's a good one. The reason they oh god, it all comes out. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad stuff. Like the guy, he eventually admits that the new boyfriend, is more well endowed, or at least this is what he's heard, and that's what drives him crazy about the new boyfriend. And Jason Statham, it comes out that he's impotent. The two of them wind up like two fellas chatting this whole thing out. It's kind of depressing and powerful at the same time. But Saddam's got hair. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. And see him there with hair. Is that coming through on the other side there? Yes, it is. Oh, fuck you, Windows. There you go.
Yeah, that's weird.
It doesn't hit the same.
No,
It's not right.
better bald.
Exactly. He's like one of those men that looks better bald. Completely.
Yep.
Looks like a businessman or something, or he's going to sell you insurance or something, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got a wife and a bunch of kids at home that don't really appreciate him. It's like a depressing vibe.
It's not just the head though. Like he's got look at this Viking features on this guy. Like he's got this big chin and this, like the feature on his nose, the way it's all set on his face. That's going to work with a bald head.
Yeah.
He could play some wild Viking or something with a sword, you know, and a shaved head. No problem.
Yeah.
That would be cool, actually.
So Statham, yes, fucking great for the old Panerai. I had a Panerai for a hot minute. I had a Panerai, a PAM 210 with the wire lugs. This is a black one. Looks like a PVD or ceramic one. This is probably from one of those movies you like, Nathaniel.
That's Fate of the Furious, I think. And I'm not going to say no to a good Fast and Furious movie.
That's the one he's wearing right there. 8 Days of Power Reserve. That's an evil looking watch.
Yep.
Speaking of Cattivo, that's Cattivo right there.
It's
You know?
sinister.
It's sinister, man.
Yeah, I have to look at it for a while to appreciate it, but I do think I like it.
Wire lugs, because this is Radiomir. It precedes the Luminor design. It's got big fat loom, and there is no big crown guard like you had on the other one. It's a simple crown, but again,
Yep.
a badass watch for a badass guy.
Yeah,
We're
the all
not
black
going to
looks
see
great.
we're not going to see like Jerry Seinfeld or Zach Braff or somebody wearing one of these things. This is for
Probably not.
the rugged fuckers, right? Yeah. Next up is The Rock. Michaela has
Uh-oh.
some opinions on this guy.
I feel
It
like
is-
his cortisol is very high. It just comes across that way.
Another Panerai guy, and thank God.
That one looks great, actually, in my opinion. It's very elegant.
He was here not too long ago, here in Stone Mountain. He was
Oh, yeah?
filming something.
Somehow
Yeah.
that
He's a
even
big
looks
dude.
huge on his wrist, though. That actually looks big on him.
It's probably
works,
the 47 mil. This thing is in rose gold. This is a hunk of gold, man.
Yeah.
And I would say the Radiomir is a slimmer watch than the Luminors, but not slim like the Luminor Due. Like this has history behind it. Sandwich dial, small seconds, and a date. Okay, you know that's veering away from the original Radiomir, but that's okay. But it's a hunk of gold. That thing is like when I tried on Panerais here in the local boutique. They suited me really well because they went right across my big fat wrist, you know. And then I left and I put back on a Daytona and it looked like a button, you know. After being used to these size of watches, this guy's arms are bloody enormous. He needs a watch this size.
Yeah, he doesn't. It would look really funny if he had something dainty.
Looks a little bit more well proportioned in that photo, I think.
Exactly, yeah.
Chicks.
And I think the black strap's really nice too with it. That's black, right? It's not dark brown.
In the picture, it's dark
Not
brown,
sure.
but the one he has on his wrist looks black to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks
But that
nice
looks like
that
a
way.
chocolate dial on the right with dark brown. I would wear that all day long, every day.
Yeah, the colors just come together so beautifully. It just makes it very elegant to look at.
10 days of power reserve. That basically means your watch never stops running. Because the issue when you have an automatic watch that needs winding or will wind itself when you have it on the wrist, is if you have a collection, you put your watch down for a few days and you change out watch. So it happens to most of us collectors that we have to wind up our watches and set the time and the date and so on after a few days. 10 days of power reserve means that you can leave it down for a long time. Then by the time you pick it up, it starts winding itself again.
So is that a 10-day automatic?
I believe, not sure if this is 10-day automatic or manual wind. That's a very good question.
Because usually if it's going to have a 10-day power reserve, it's not going to be an automatic.
It's going to be a manual. But by the time you pick it up, you give it another wind. Jesus, you could just plop like 3 days on it and you're good to go. Like you don't even have to wind it all 10 days.
Yeah, I'd forget. That's such a long duration. I would just forget.
I'd love to give myself the test, like be out in the wilderness or something, have to find my way back to civilization and constantly watching my watch all the time, making sure it's wound and so on. Because the minute it stops, I'm fucking lost. Then I don't know what time of day it is,
Yep.
This thing has AM and PM and everything. It's a GMT. This is about as complex as they get. Normally Panerai kind of give you one or the other. They rarely give you all the features in one watch. My guess is this does not have a display case back. Because quite often what they give you on the swings, they take away on the roundabouts, if you know what I mean. Like they rarely give you everything all together. Mind you, this being rose gold, maybe they are just throwing it all in. What else has he got?
Might as well.
A Luminor Marina.
Everyone's gonna get sick of the Panerais.
Yeah, we're just loading up on
We got a
Panerais.
lot
It's
going.
tough.
Hold on, there's
Doesn't he have an
something else
AP
coming.
as well? I think he's got an AP.
Let's look for it. There's another Luminor. Look, these watches suit him, man. Can you imagine this guy with a Daytona on? It would look hilarious. First of all, he'd probably have to add 4 links to the thing just to get it on his wrist. There's one of his APs.
There he is.
Oh my gosh, it's so ugly. I'm sorry.
What's ugly? I have that watch, but not in that configuration.
I just think it just looks gaudy, honestly. And I think I like purple in nature. I don't really like purple unless it's just done so specifically on anything else. But you know what? That's just my opinion. I'm not hating anyone that wears it, but I just think that looks so gaudy on him. And I think also because he's just such a big, muscular, like bloated looking guy. Good for him, by the way. It's great that he looks after himself. But it gets to a point where it's just like he just always looks perpetually uncomfortable. And then this big thing that's I just think it's ghastly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because he's always stuffed into his shirts. When that guy
What
has
else
an
are they
eye
gonna
on,
do?
it looks like it's choking him to death.
Yeah, what are they going to
belching
do
out.
to style him? Like, what are they going to do? They can't put oversized clothes on him. That would look ridiculous. So I get it. I don't know. He doesn't look intimidating to me or scary. He just looks uncomfortable. I don't know how to describe it. But, I've heard that The Rock is so nice and so friendly. And so that's nothing about him. And just, we're talking about style. We're talking about how, we're judging that, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, he is one of those guys who's completely disarming in person. I did not meet him, but I have a housemate who's a cop who does security for these things when they come to Stone Mountain. And you don't even think about how huge he is because of how friendly, kind, and nice he is.
That's good.
So he's not intimidating.
Yeah, he just doesn't come across that way.
But what is it about the watch that you don't? Is it the purple?
I think so. I think it's the purple with the brightness of everything else, and then
so I'm gonna
looks
show you.
gaudy.
I'm gonna show you something. This is that exact watch, with no purple and in steel. That the one he has is white gold, and it's frosted. Which what they do with AP when they frost is they hammer away at the surface, so it creates little indentations. So it might appear. Yeah, it might appear to be frosted like little diamonds or precious stones. It's not. They just hammered away on the thing. It's a very laborious process. It's something that can't be redone by anyone.
Yes.
Some would disagree. Some would say they could redo it, but it has to go back to AP if it gets a big ding or scratch because they'll have to get in and do it again. and no two are quite exactly the same, really, if you get in under a loop because of that. But this is essentially, apart from that and the fact that it's white gold, this is the same exact watch.
Yes. So I love the chronograph. I love that. It's just, I think what it is that frosty, icy effect on it. And the fact that it's white gold, it's just so bright. But yours looks a lot more subtle and sophisticated. It's just the combination of everything on that one is gross. But that, I'm not just trying to like kiss your ass. I think yours looks beautiful and sophisticated. I really just think the purple and the frosty, whatever is happening there is way too much. Nathaniel, do you like it?
No.
See, I'm not alone. Why don't you like it though?
I don't like the purple, and also it's a very rare chronograph that I like. And that's got too much going on for me.
Too much because of the frosted and the purple.
No, I find that dial very busy.
Oh, so you don't like mine either?
No, I don't.
He's putting my watch down in a very subtle manner. You think this is too busy?
It's too busy for me. I'm not saying that it's
you.
too busy
not
objectively.
Okay.
I like to be able to look down at my watch and easily read the time.
Right.
I find that dial very busy.
Too busy. Well, right now you can see how much bigger the rock is than me. Because look at it on his wrist. It actually looks kind of small. And though I have big wrists and these watches suit me, it looks right. It looks even large, not too large for me, but you can tell right there the size difference between our arms. It actually looks kind of small on his wrist, if that's even possible.
He's got a good 6 inches and probably a good 60 to 80 pounds on you. I mean, he's a huge dude.
Is he 6'6"? Because I'm just under 6 foot.
That's what I'm saying. He's 6'6".
Is he 6'6"? I thought he was maybe 6'1", 6'2". Fuck.
No, sir. He is a giant among men, and he's almost 300 pounds.
Oh shit. Well then.
You know, he seems like a family man. There's lots of pictures of him with his little kids, and it's just sweet. And he's done family movies, so he doesn't come across as like a scary big guy. But it is kind of surprising to hear that he's 6'6". I did not expect that at all. Yeah.
Listen, I know he's built like a fucking brick, okay, and he's huge. But I've never been intimidated by the guy because he's got that big friendly smile. You know, he's like a happy giant.
And it's sincere. It's sincere.
Like if you take Benicio del Toro, that guy's scary. That guy's got a look in his eyes like he's gonna kill you. And he's half the time he's overweight and he's out of shape and he looks like he drank too much coffee and he drank too much tequila the night before. This watch, you know what this watch looks like to me? That's like his little dainty dressy watch he wears on a Sunday. This is the equivalent like what most men would put on a 36 mil date just. That's what this watch is for him. It's a little sparkly, nice piece of jewelry for his monster arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's purple it's a tad emasculating, the purple, but I guess it's got some flashy pizzazz to it.
I don't know if it feels emasculating. It just feels a little bit like someone said it in the chat, so don't get mad, but it looks a little bit like ghetto, just a little bit. I'm sorry. Please don't be offended. Because of
the frosted
and the purple. Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? When people put those spinners on their wheels of their car. I saw one on a Ford the other day. A Ford. And it was like, I'm like, if you're going to lean into that like tackiness, and you know it costs money, you know that. I'm like, at least drive an all like blacked out Escalade or something, just because it makes sense for what you're doing. Yeah, but.
So lads here are saying he's 6'5" and 260 pounds. Wow. I would have thought he was heavier than that because he's built of muscle. Michaela doesn't know how deep the rabbit hole goes with the whole spinners on the wheels with watches, because shit can get really out of, things can get really out of control. This one's actually quite modest in comparison to like Jacob and Co. and all of that, like studded
for sure,
bust down stuff.
Chandelier.
The chandelier on the wrist. The next
Yeah.
one he's got here is a Tag Heuer Carrera. This is a $3,000 watch. It's a very modest watch. I believe this chrono is probably 43 mils, kind of hanging down off his wrist.
I believe they just copied the Speedmaster.
Oh, come on. I mean, Tag have their own history. That's unfair to them, no?
Look at that, though. Look at the lugs.
Yes.
Look at the dial. Look at the outside of the dial. Looks an awful lot like a Speedy to me.
Yeah, kind of a straight lug, Speedy. The tachometer is around the edge.
No, they're not. They're not straight lugs. They've got that fold-in thing.
But the twisted, they're not as twisted
Yeah,
they're a little bit twisted. They're not that bad. But either way, they'd be copying the Speedmaster in your eyes.
Yes.
This one's interesting because it's got the small seconds at the 6, whereas, just like this one does, same as mine, small seconds, and then larger subdials at the 3 and 9. I adore this watch, not in this configuration. The purple's a bit much. If that was green, I would go for it, or if it was some sort of silver with reverse colored subdials, I would go for it. The frosted, it's a very particular thing, If I saw one of those in the wild, I'd be very interested to see how it sparkles, because what they came up with was a way to make the watch sparkle like a bit like diamonds, but without the diamonds, because all of those little indentations will all catch the light at different angles. So what happens is the watch as it is a sparkly watch. I mean, look at mine. It's like a bloody disco ball. When I turn it, you see the way it catches all the light like that, does a dance of light. So you can imagine what it's like with this thing. Very interesting watch. But again, these are watches you develop a taste for with time. The first time you see them, you think they're ugly, and then they begin to work in on you. It's like your first taste of gin or whiskey. It just takes time to break.
I'm gonna look at it every day and see how I feel in a month. I'll let you know.
We'll ask you in a month if you like it or not.
And that frosted effect is not really something that shows up very well on camera. In real life, it does actually look very pleasantly sparkly, and not in the abrupt way in which a diamond can be sparkly, because a diamond will immediately grab your attention across the room with a sparkle. This is, since it's so many more small little pot marks, indentations, it's a much more subtle sparkle than if it were busted down.
Well, now I want to see one in person really bad.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. They're very beautiful.
I think the emerald green is very lovely on this one. I really do. I love green.
He's a Carrera. Carreras, they seem to be a theme going through a lot of. Was it Michael Douglas? One of our recent episodes was wearing a Carrera with a blue dial, and it was cool. Yeah. I mean, the guy probably has Pateks out the wazoo, but he wore a Carrera to an event just because it matched his shirt or his suit or something. That's kind of cool. Look, Tag Heuer have a history. They're not to be overlooked. They're great watches. But for some reason, they get a little bit poo-pooed because they're down under the $5,000 range in most cases. They use normally standard Swiss movements, not in-house movements. So they're kind of considered a little bit kind of, the kind of everyday watch. A good watch, a solid brand, but not going into the beautiful horology world, so to speak. Do you own any tags, Nathaniel?
I do. I have a Tag Formula One, and I like it very much. It's got a brilliant red racing dial and a black bezel.
That's a famous one.
It's an awesome watch. It's quartz, but I like it very much, and I got it for a great deal.
Now, moving on with Tag, he has the iconic Monaco. Now, this is how. Originally, it was Heuer. Before Tag bought Heuer and became Tag Heuer, it was the Heuer Monaco. Michaela, if you're not familiar, this was a very famous watch. Steve McQueen would wear one, and later on, Walter White in Breaking Bad is gifted one from Jesse. And it's kind of a thinking man's watch, but also a rugged man's watch. What do you think?
I like the Monaco. I just think on him, I don't know if I like it on him, sorry, but I've seen it where I've liked it before and I like the picture of it, but I don't know if it suits him very well, but who am I to say that? I just feel like the Rock's just, I don't know what it is, but as the watch itself though, I think I do like it, yeah. It's not, it's busy and it's different, but it's not too much somehow, so it works.
Now, what do you think about the squareness with the circle in the middle? Like, is it not awkward looking? The fact that it's a square watch?
You know, I don't see it that way. I don't see it as awkward just because I like uniqueness, but it has to be done right. And I think this one pulls it off pretty well. I'm not like a crazy fan of it, but I don't dislike it. I don't think it looks awkward. Do you think it looks awkward?
I think the old ones can tend to look a bit like an old television. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? A bit of like...
I would describe that as a television watch.
Yeah, it's kind of got a weird television look. The subdials with their almost square, those rounded edged squares. This is the original Hoyer one before tag. And if you can find one of these, the original ones, you should grab it because it's a classic and it's vintage and it's all gorgeous and so on. But you can still get them, and they're still the most expensive tag Hoyer watch that you can get. They are to Tag Heuer what the Speedmaster is to Omega, or the Daytona is to Rolex. I've got Walter White here with one as well. Kind of a badass.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
once it became
one of
like
the
the
reasons
confirmed
I kind of like
badass. One of the reasons why you like it?
Yeah, I love Walter White. I shouldn't, but I do. I think that
We
was
all
just
love
a
Walter
great
White.
show. It was just a great show, and yeah. So whatever he wears, I'm gonna say yes to. Even when it's dad sneakers, I'll say yes.
Jesse gave it to him at a certain point. Remember, he hands him the watch. I don't know. He's in the car and he goes, "Hey, I know it's your birthday," you know, and he hands him I left the receipt in there if you want to change it, you know. He winds up wearing this watch.
Doesn't he leave it? Doesn't he leave it behind though at the end?
At the end. Very good. That's exactly
On the photo
because he's
booth,
rejecting Jesse. He's on his way
Yeah.
back to get his revenge, and his partner who kind of betrayed him. So he leaves it on the phone. When he makes that phone call, he leaves it behind him. Whenever I think of Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad, all I can think of is when he goes, Jesse. He's the entire fucking 7 series or whatever it was. Is him going, Jesse, wake up, Jesse.
Well, Jesse was slacking off, so what do you expect? He's slacking off.
Open the door, Jesse.
No, Jesse made me so mad, but I don't fully hate him, but he made me mad.
Yeah, he's irresponsible. He was stupid.
Exactly. He was also just such a wallowing in self-pity kind of guy. So there's so many scenes of him just sitting there just in his own pitiful mind, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, just stop.
Yeah, crying about the girlfriend who died, and yeah, the crying got a little bit too much. My problem in that show was Skylar. She just annoyed me.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Skylar,
there's a movement now where it's like justice for Skylar.
What have you done, Walt?
Oh my gosh.
Shut up. He's bringing home millions.
Seriously,
Your
what is he
husband
doing
went
this
from a
for?
nerdy science teacher to like the most badass dude in Albuquerque. Jesus, get over it, darling.
And he was doing it for you and your family. Is it wrong what he's doing? Yes, but can't you see that? She just was so crazy. Now people are coming out and saying, if you dislike Skylar, that means you hate women. I'm like, oh my gosh, like she represents women. She did nothing wrong. Well, it doesn't matter regardless of the truth. She's annoying, okay? She as an individual was annoying.
We need you on eye bashers. Let go of the fucking
sorry, Skylar.
The watch fashion, please. We need you on eye bashers. These women.
Let's do it.
Next, watch up. What are we looking at? Are we back to let's go back to The Rock and see if he has anything else to redeem himself with. So the last one was the Tag Heuer Monaco. I feel like he should have an original with the money that this guy's got. He can pick up the phone and get an original one rather than this is the brand new thing. Like you can buy this. I prefer it with the racing dial, with the stripe down the center rather than the big blue. But this is kind of nice. Blue and red.
I also prefer it on leather.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't know how that bracelet feels, but
more classic. Jesus, he's doubling down here with the tags. This is an Aqua Racer. This is their equivalent of a Submariner.
Yeah.
He's wearing it with that horrible fucking peach suit. Oof.
Oh my gosh. Dirk would be ripping that suit to shreds.
Dirk would be throwing up right now.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
like
Whoever styled him, it's like
shiny object.
Yeah, whoever styled him, or if he styles himself, it's almost like they're making like a caricature of him instead of just dressing him like a buff man. It's like, here's this man that wears these shiny, flashy things or ridiculous things. Like back when we were looking at, I think it was the first tag that we were looking at, he was wearing this vest or a gilet, whatever, with no shirt under, and that was his outfit. It's so bad. It's always just like, yeah, exactly. It's like he's just a caricature of a big buff guy. Like he's not a human that actually dresses like a human. Sorry, I know I'm being harsh, but
it's I hear you. WWF history.
Yeah, it's following him no matter where he goes. Maybe they're just trying to soften up his look here, Maybe he's at some sort of nice event. He's at the Emmys or something, and he doesn't want to look like one of the bouncers outside. He wants to look like a celebrity that should be giving him an award.
If he was wearing a more like tan taupe type of color without the shimmery shine on it, it would look very handsome on him. So they don't quite got his color palette down. This is just off a little bit. It needs to be deeper. So no, they didn't get it right with his peach. But I know what you're saying. He's dressed nicely. It's just that it's so ridiculous.
And what about the watch?
The watch is good. I think it looks very nice, in my opinion. Simple.
You know what's great about the Aqua Racer? That's a slim watch. That's a tough watch that can go down 200 meters, but it's slim. You're seeing most of the watch right there in the photo. It'll wear slim against the wrist. It can go under the cuff, nice and comfortable. I like tag. I don't own any tags. Maybe I should get a tag. I mean, the Monaco obviously is on my radar and has been since the beginning because it's one of those watches you're supposed to have as an enthusiast. It's like the Speedy, it's like the Sub, it's like the Reverso, especially if you can get a vintage one. But I've never come around to one. I've never I don't know what it is. I'll get around to it. I think that's a very legible watch, simple watch. Probably
are they well respected?
They are. I mean, again, they're not considered like the high level. If I wore that watch, it would be because I'm going somewhere where I know the watch is going to get banged around. Because some of these watches, even though they're made for being banged and pranged and going underwater, you don't want to do it because it was $12,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that every scar on it will reduce its value if you want to sell the watch in the future. Someone was mentioning earlier, because I put up a thing on my Instagram of my Seiko. I was out at the beach and I did a little Instagram of I brought up my Seiko King Turtle, the blue one. And honestly, I don't wear the watch out into the water because I want the tan. I don't want a watch imprint in my I want the full tan.
Mm-hmm.
It's vanity. It's pure vanity. I'm an idiot. But somebody was like, oh, look, you wouldn't dare bring a Rolex out into the water, you chicken. He's basically saying that. And I was like, no, it's because I don't want, I still have a bit of a mark. But normally, if I wear a watch into the sun, eventually what I wind up with is a horrible big stripe that I need to cover them with a watch. So I'll leave the watch in my pants on the beach. And that's my problem. You know,
To get stolen.
yeah, it'll get stolen. That's the issue. It probably won't, but I'll be out there swimming, going, you know, sticking my head up, going, checking my pants every few minutes because I'll be like,
Yep.
is anybody passing my pants? They want to rummage around. If they steal my Seiko, I'll be sad, but I won't be as sad as if I brought my offshore. You know, and they walk away with 30 grand, even though
Either way,
that
your
watch
bank
is
account.
made for that. You know, so it kind of goes against. So I feel like if I had an Aqua Racer, that's a cool looking man's watch, steel, the whole bit. But if it gets stolen or lost, I'm not gonna commit suicide. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
only
I
want
feel
watches you'll kill yourself over for sure. I'm sorry, I'm just joking.
I feel the same about my Formula One. I wouldn't describe it as a beater because I don't intentionally mistreat it,
Right.
but I also really don't give it a second thought if I do knock it against something.
Hey, listen, the other day was the first time I had my Seiko King Turtle Manta Ray. Is it here somewhere I can show it? No, I don't know where it is. I was delighted to get it into the water, and I stuck it in the sand. I wanted some sand on it. I feel like any ding I give it will give it more character and make it even cooler. I don't have the same feeling about an Audemars Piguet or even a sub.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, certainly.
So I feel like if I had one of those watches, I'd be like, fuck it. Yeah, let's give it some character. Let's give it its own edge. Perhaps that says something about my wallet. You know what I mean? That a $3,000 watch, okay. But a $10,000 watch or $30,000 watch, absolutely not. It's staying at home or it's staying in the bank, right? Maybe I have no business wearing these really expensive watches. I think that's a pretty solid watch. I don't know about the fucking suit. But whatever. That's another conversation.
Forget the suit.
Forget the
Forget
suit.
the suit.
Yeah. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Leave the suit, take the Aqua Racer. Back to Panerai. Look at this. Could any other watch look good on that arm? I don't think so. Are you guys seeing that?
That definitely. I'm not sure whose else arm it would look quite as good on. It'd have to be somebody as big as him.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I like the strap that he picked for it a little bit better. I feel like that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the rubber just makes it look, I don't know what the word is, but too practical. I mean, that's not the word I'm looking for, but
I know these watches well. This is the submersible. This was kind of their answer while they released the Luminor Due, which is more about the aesthetic and the history of Panerai more than being a great tool watch. At the same time, the submersible came out, which was kind of their modern version of, okay, you want beefy, you want something that can go way down underwater, there it is. This is our answer. And they come, a lot of these watches, these Panerais, they come with 2 extra strap options because the Panerais are famously known as strap monsters. You can switch out the straps and have a lot of fun and kind of change the aesthetic of your watch. They come standard, as far as I know, on that rubber strap. And I'll go so far as to say that the rubber strap can make it look a little bit like a toy. A little bit like
kind of cheapy.
Plastic. Yeah, a little bit toyish, especially the kind of rubber they use. It's very shiny. And it can tend to cheapen the look.
The word that Michaela used was practical. And that is actually exactly the right word because it's meant for practical diving.
Right.
That pattern in the strap is meant to stretch a little bit like an accordion. And, you know, that's the case on those Seiko straps that are somewhat similar. So it does look goofy, but it does look goofy for a reason. And so I don't know if I can fault it.
Would you wear it?
Right.
No, I wouldn't.
What if I gave you one right now? Would you wear it?
Only because you're such a nice person.
Oh.
I would wear the strap he has on in the picture. That brown leather or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I'd wear that watch on that strap. I don't think I'd wear it on the on the plastic. Honestly, that'd be the first thing I did when I came home with that watch. Is I'd take it off that strap. Gotta say.
How many millimeters? How many millimeters is this case? Do we know?
In thickness, probably about 16. It's a thick watch.
How about wide?
Submersibles are wide across 45,
Yeah.
I believe. Anybody want to
Okay.
correct me there in the chat? Is it 45 across? It's funny thing with Panerai, because I've even tried on 47 mil watches. And because they sit so nicely on the wrist and the way it falls down from the way the strap holds it, it looks big. 44 mil, Raphael said. Because the way they're formed, they look big, but they don't look uncomfortably big. They kind of sit in a cool way on the wrist. So it's a funny thing about Panerai. They can get like their ladies' sizes are like 40 mil or 42 mil. I think there's a 39. They're big watches. You know, they're supposed to be big watches. They're not hiding the fact that they're big. It's kind of part of their aesthetic, is the big watch.
I mean, I suppose there are big girls too.
That too, and a lot of girls who like the bigger watches. Michaela's one. You always like. I haven't seen you with a small watch on yet, Michaela.
I know. I definitely am in the market, but I like bigger watches on myself. I don't know why. I think I have a complex because I'm not tall. No, I'm just joking. But only if it's a very elegant, kind of sleek look. Even though sometimes I'll borrow one that's, very masculine and big. No, that's not going to be something I would wear daily, but I'll do big watches if it's more sophisticated looking. Depends. Like my Bell and Blue, that's a pretty big, actually. I think it's 42, but I feel like it works. Big watch. I feel like it works because it's so slender, it's so sleek too. So it just really depends on the entirety of it, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are like very specific about people wearing too big of watches, and I get that. So
I don't think a woman can wear too big a watch. This is a separate conversation, but it's worth having. A man can wear a watch that makes him look like a man can wear a watch that's too small. I've seen that a lot. Guys with really, really fat arms and chubby hands and chubby wrists wearing like a day-date 40 mil or a 36 mil.
Or our former president wearing the ellipse.
Oh, yeah. That thing is just digging into his chubby, his fat is like curling around the fucking thing. It's,
that
so
Patek
gaudy.
was struggling.
Yeah, that thing is about to snap open. Yeah.
His stylist was struggling too, for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna do president's watches pretty soon on the channel, on this show, but and we'll get to that, and it'll be a lot of fun. I think when a woman wears a watch that's too big, it kind of enters into just the large loose bracelet look, so it kind of works anyway. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting opinion. And I think a lot of the time people give women a pass if they're wearing a cool watch. So they're like, it's okay. It's a cool watch and it's on a chick. So yeah.
There's certainly the last couple of years been a huge trend in women wearing a 42 millimeter Daytonas, right?
Yeah. 40 millimeter Daytonas.
Yeah. And they're too big for most of them, but I don't think I've ever heard one criticized.
No, because it's boss.
Exactly.
It's kind of a clue as to who's the richest woman in the room, kind of thing. That kind of feel. So it works. You ladies get away with blue murder with this stuff, but we don't get to do it because you can wear tiny, tiny, mini things as well. You've kind of got the whole world at your fingertips.
Yeah, because it's almost like a piece of haute jewelry when we wear it. That's kind of the idea, even though it's not. But when a man wears it, it's a watch. It's a timepiece. That's it. Right. That's what it is. And like when we were looking at, what was it, the Cannes Film Festival or the Met Gala? One where we were looking at The Weeknd and his Piaget, I believe. that was
Yes.
just
Yes.
covered in diamonds, and it looked like just a piece of jewelry on him. And even though honestly, for what it was still an interesting looking piece. The biggest problem is that he wasn't wearing it as a timepiece, and he's a man. He's relatively masculine, so it just didn't work. You know, for women, I feel like we can wear it as a piece of jewelry too, if that makes sense.
Most definitely. I mean, that is just, that's such a great place to be with the watch game. It's so great. Here's another Panerai. This is another submersible. I'm not as mad about this because that big 12 and 6 are a little silly looking. I know these straps well. Not a big fan of these straps either, but they are kind of, tool watch straps. Tons of Panerai in this guy, of course. Thoughts on that one? Not as pretty as the other
What
ones.
one?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything
Oh, you
on the
can't see
screen.
it.
I'm sorry.
Fucking moron. Sorry.
Sorry.
What do you think?
Oh,
It looks kind of badass on him, but I don't really like it separate from him with a gun with that
Him
watch
with the
on.
gun and the go-to. And the
Yeah, like it
arms.
works. It works there, but
it's kind of a cool dial with the crosshatch thing going on.
Yeah. Look, it's a functional tool watch. I guess it works with that character. Let's see what else he's got going here. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, moving on.
G-Shock at the bottom?
That was just an ad for.
Oh,
I think it was an
okay.
ad for those. Yeah, that's pretty much his main collection there. At least my favorite of the lot is that.
yeah, that one's beautiful. It looks so well with his skin tone too.
Yeah,
Just beautiful.
that's kind of making me hungry for a big rose gold Panerai right now. Moving on, we're got to go over to Schwarzenegger. I found an article here where they're talking about it. So Schwarzenegger kind of, I'm not going to say he did what Sly Stallone did, for Panerai, that Schwarzenegger did for AP. But it definitely, a lot of people noticed the Schwarzenegger, even though it's a kind of an ugly looking AP, him wearing it, of course, another guy with big arms. Schwarzenegger is 6'2", and at the peak of his career was 220 pounds. Don't ask me how I know that. This one has the funny crown guards, though. Look at those things.
I don't like that.
You're not an AP fan so far, Michaela.
Like I said, I'll stare at them for a month and then I'll fall in love with them. No, I've seen some that look really nice. I just don't like. I don't like that. It's too much. Brass
The
knuckles.
pushers, the crown, everything has these crazy covers on it.
Yeah, reminds me of brass knuckles the way it's shaped. Just feels like a big pop in your face.
That does kind of look like brass knuckles over on the side with the guards.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way.
So it just feels very. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like those are big screws, and it's just so big. I mean, it's cool. It is cool. I'm not going to say it's not, and it's cool on Schwarzenegger, but I don't know. The entirety of it just is a little bit too much for my taste. But I'm sure he can pull it off because he's a big, fit guy. He's a Terminator.
That's what he is. I mean, he wears some other APs as well. Let me see if I can find them. But they're, a lot of them are kind of stark colored. I think he wore a yellow one. Let me see if I can find it. With a kind of a bright yellow. Was that Arnold? Otmar? And, when I was first getting into AP, these kind of things were turning me off. I think this is something similar to what he had. I'll pull it up here. Sorry, guys. This kind of thing. Yeah, these are offshores, I just showed you
Yeah.
guys an offshore. That's what I started the show with.
Yeah.
It's an acquired taste. Big, chunky, beefy watch.
Wonder how much that weighs.
Well, not as much as your watch because of the strap.
Right.
What's really adding the weight to your watch, Nathaniel, is that bracelet.
Yeah.
The whole thing
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this watch definitely helps itself out by having the leather strap instead of a bracelet. I feel like that would have been very,
Too much.
yeah, especially if it's, I mean, not that it should be two-tone, that would be just way too much, but just all
you
yellow gold
familiar-
like that is very aggressive sometimes,
Michaela,
especially
are you
such
familiar?
Hmm?
Are you familiar with the brick?
the brick?
Show her the brick.
The
brick.
brick.
The AP
Brick.
brick.
Was
I
that
want
an,
to
that's
see.
an offshore, right?
I think
AP
so.
brick watch. I think that might be kind of what we're. Oh, this is even bigger. Yeah, this is. Yeah, but she might like this one. Let me see. Again, just big, strong, chunky watches. There's the brick.
Oh goodness.
I mean, just a solid piece of gold.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
that feels like it's not even a watch anymore. That's just like a bar of gold. It's literally like in your safe
Well,
as just a gold
that's
bar.
why they call it the brick.
Yeah, you keep that for the end of the world when they don't take domestic currency anymore, and just
Now, there's an example of a guy's arm. That guy has no business wearing that watch.
no,
Yeah.
you're right.
The whole head of the watch extends beyond his wrist. I see that a lot. Now, what that says to me, when a dude is wearing a watch that big, it's like there's something wrong. You know what I mean? There's something going on. It's like driving too big a car or something. Like,
It
don't
almost,
be doing that.
yeah, it almost. I don't know. It doesn't look like a fake or anything. I'm not saying it is. It almost comes across like it would be, just because you don't seem like the type. I don't know. I feel bad, but a big watch like that is not for everybody. It's not for every wrist.
It's like you're thinking of it as an Invicta.
Yeah, Victor
Or
are a cheap brand that make these massive 50 mil watches that are just crazy massive.
Gaudy. Ridiculous.
I'm looking at Jean-Claude Van Damme's watch. You were telling me, Michaela, that he made his own watch. Is that correct? Is this his
Yeah.
own?
I don't like it.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, the JCVD watch.
I mean,
Wow.
it's kind of interesting that he made his own watch, but I feel like it's probably trash, honestly.
Well, they're massive. And they look like Hublot or somewhere. If an Hublot and Octofinissimo had a baby, that's what this watch.
Yeah, kind of.
It
Yeah.
looks like a maze on the dial. I don't like
Talking
it.
about hard to read, and it's got Jean-Claude Van Damme on the dial. I mean, that's super fucking nerdy.
It is, yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I
And those
hate
little H's, little mini H's around. HCX is the name of the model. That's fucking gross.
it. I'm sorry that I made you look at that.
I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a long time since he's been cool, though, right?
Yeah. I don't remember
Yeah.
when his last movie was.
It also brought Dolph Lundgren up in the.
I think he just got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just married his 25-year-old personal trainer.
Dolph Lundgren watch. Let's have a look at what he's got. Oh, he's got AP at the walls. I mean, I like this. Oh, fuck, I like that. I really like that. Can I zoom on that? Jeez, every time I try to zoom on Windows, it's a mess. Yeah, this will work. Accept. Share that over. I like this, but because I got bitten by the AP bug, it's a thing. It was a long time. I didn't like the look of the AP. The overall aesthetic of AP it was too industrial. It was based on the submarine parts kind of thing. But I would wear that. What do you reckon? You guys are silent. What happened? You got nothing to say. You hate it.
About what?
Nathaniel can go first.
I think that I like it a lot better than the purple one. I like the blue a lot better than the purple.
But that's a different model, man. This is the offshore. So I put back on my offshore again, just before you guys get crazy on it. Just remind yourselves, there's a lad in the room with a similar watch. The offshore, if you want me to for anybody who's watching who doesn't know the look of, obviously the offshore is based on the Royal Oak shape and look. So that's the Royal Oak chronograph, of course. It's not a three-hander. But what they did with the offshore is they just made it chunkier, bigger, more aggressive, kind of dive version of the other watch. Just brought it up again. Very muscular version of the Royal Oak form. So what you're looking at on Dolph Lundgren there is basically this watch, but with different details. This one has a rubber bezel, black dial, blah, blah, blah. But this guy has here, that's a steel bezel, blue dial, blue strap.
I like the little red details. I think that looks nice. And I think sometimes a watch may not look that appealing just in the photo, but when it's actually on the person, that's when it comes together. And I can hardly see it in this photo on him, but when I see it on you, I like it a lot more than if I saw it stand alone. So I think it's probably okay. Sorry.
That's a ringing endorsement. It's probably okay.
That's the thing. I want to see it actually on him. That's the thing. I can't see it that well. It looks like a good size for him, though. Is that a t-shirt, though, under his jacket? Uh-oh.
I think it is, yeah.
I hate that so much.
It's lazy. That's what that looks like to me when they put a t-shirt under it.
And I get it. Like when men are dressing for the like semi-casual look and they want to look kind of dressed up, they do stuff like that. But that's not quite getting it right. But what year was that? I don't know. If that was a while ago, it could have been. Doesn't really matter.
Well,
but
I think he's 65 now, and it says he's 62 in that photo. So that'd be about 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think
how
at
do you
this
know
point,
so much about Dolph Lundgren, Nathaniel?
Because I just saw that story about him marrying his 25-year-old
trainer. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel hopeful.
25. I mean, I feel like 25 is when the brain is developed enough to make your own, rational decisions for most people.
He's a handsome 62 or 65 or whatever.
He aged pretty well.
Yeah, he's still got the chin. He's kind of chisel looking. He's in good shape.
I mean, the thing is, it really just depends. Because I think if a woman is not prone to being attracted to an older man, obviously when she's age appropriate, of course. Well, that's debatable, but, at least I would say like 24, 25 and above. But I feel like if a woman's not typically attracted to older men and an older man, ends up attracting her specifically, I think that the differences between the ages can end up being a problem, especially because she's used to liking guys her own age. And so she's used to men acting that certain way. And men that are in their 20s, even though they may think semi-similar, like men don't always just get old. Like they can be young in their mind, but the thing is, 25-year-old men are drastically different than men in their 50s and in their 60s. The way that they see life, the way that they feel emotionally, jealousy, all of that stuff, their confidence is just completely different because they have life experience. I think an age gap can work better if a woman is more prone to already being interested in older men instead of just testing out an older man when she usually doesn't go for it. Because that's usually when it gets screwed up, I feel like. I'm just saying. And also, you know, a transactional relationship, if that's what it truly is, like just being like a sugar daddy, that's not even, don't feel like that's truly a relationship anyway. So I don't usually use that as an example. But yeah, I think it's hit or miss. And I think 25 is not incredibly young. I understand that to most people that's creepy. 62, you know, that is kind of is pushing it. But
Well,
at the end of the
he's
day,
65 and she's
65.
25, right?
Oh, okay, right. So that's kind of pushing it.
40
It's really just up to
year.
her. It's really just up to not her. I don't mean it like that, but they'll just have to see. She has to be a kind of a calmer person because I feel like if you're a young 25 and you like to go out party and all this stuff that he doesn't like to do, it's not going to work. If you just constantly have to hang out with your female friends every single day or your friends and go out, and a man at that age is established, I just feel like that's when it doesn't work. But sorry, I'm taking you all on a rant right now. But
No, I don't mind it. It's an interesting conversation because it comes up a lot. I mean, the example I'm always hearing about is Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, and the older he gets,
Yeah,
the
he's got
younger
an
they get.
expiration date. He's got an
Yeah.
expiration date on his
25, right?
girlfriend.
25.
I feel like
Once
that's
they hit 25, they're out.
I feel like that's kind of different though, because he's not like it doesn't seem that he's looking for a serious relationship. He just likes going out and dating younger women. Obviously, they're not like 16-year-olds, you know, they're actually adult women. So there's nothing
Well, one
wrong
of them
with it.
recently was 19 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely young, but that's just not going to work out most likely for them. And she's going to learn a lesson. You know, if she wants to date Leo because it's Leo, she's going to learn a lesson. Sometimes you can't interfere with those events. You just have to let them happen.
I mean, this is maybe a bit personal, but I've dated a lot of women that are younger, and it's you either find some women are just extremely ageist, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're an old man," and then some women are like, "Oh no." I had an ex who was I was 11, 12 years older than her, and she was like, "You're the youngest guy I would ever date." Like the youngest, like we'd passed like posters of Robert De Niro for Xenia, you know, for the Suits, and he's in his late 60s at the time or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, he's beautiful. That's a real man." I felt like I was too young. Isn't that weird?
You must be this tall to ride this ride.
So the thing is,
hilarious.
Men when they age like well, it's something very special. Not that it's rare necessarily, but
Right.
it's just that a well-refined age man. Like for instance, is it Pierce Brosnan? He looks that may be who I'm thinking about, but he still looks beautiful. He's so handsome. I'm pretty sure that's who I'm thinking about. But regardless, some men age really well.
Pierce has aged extremely well. Yeah.
But it's kind of like with, you know, men being attracted to younger women, like even 19, 20, really young, especially when they're older. I mean, it makes sense. There's not anything specifically wrong with it, but the realities of actually being in a relationship with someone with that great of an age difference, I think a lot of people don't understand the vast differences in their brains, their habits, their life. And so troubles can arise, but it just really depends. I mean, as long as they are not like handicapped mentally, they can make their own decision in that way. That's how I feel. I don't really judge it. But sometimes though, the couples do look really creepy and the guy just looks really creepy, and kind of like how Dirk was going off on, was it Roger Moore, I think, in one of the Bond films, and he's like fawning all over the young. Like he came across as like a creepy old man, not like no, I feel bad. He wasn't a creepy old man, but like kind of when some older men are just more, they're just cool. It's just, you know, it's very specific.
I can see why a woman maybe who is 28, 29 who would want to date a guy who's 48, 50 because he has his shit together and he's mature. As long as he's kept himself in decent shape and he hasn't let himself go and blah, blah, blah. You know, as long as he's still attractive. You know, he's got a house, he's got a couple of cars, he's got a boat, he's got a summer house in Florida. You know, he's got all the shit all set up. Whereas if she dates another 28-year-old, unless he's, you know, comes from money somehow, or he's super famous or whatever and wealthy, she's got to deal with a guy who's still finding his feet financially and in life as well, with maturity. As you mentioned it as well there, with jealousy. Older men, we're not. I'm an older man at this point. We're not jealous. We're just not jealous. It's something. It's gone. We don't mind.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean.
He's gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, he is. He's a fucking beautiful guy. No problem.
Exactly. It's not the same as not having, appropriate boundaries in your relationship just because you're not jealous. It's just one of those things where it's like, does he get upset over all these little petty things? Like, no, usually men that are older don't. And that's what's relieving about it. I actually told my friend when she was like, I think 23, and she always dated guys her age in college. And I told her, I was like, just try at least dating a guy in his 30s. I think you will be so much better off. And even then, like, you're taking a risk with just a mess. And, everyone can be a mess, but I'm just saying, guys in their 20s, as fun as they may be to hang out with, it's not fun to date them. It's just not. There's the occasional sweetheart, but it's not fun. Especially if they're handsome. It's all bad.
It's all bad. A lot of shit can go really bad because they're still out there choosing and picking and trying and stuff like that. I don't know. I see it. Look, 65 and 25, that might be a little bit. That's a bit, even though Dolph Lundgren is a handsome fella and he's got money and so on. That is a bit. That's really wide. That's 40 years.
They're gonna have
My
to
reaction
deal with
to the story was, is he trying to have children? Is that why he's marrying a 25-year-old?
That's what Alec Baldwin did when he met his wife. What's her name? We don't know what her name is because she lied about her name. Do you remember?
Hilaria.
Hilaria.
Several
Hillary.
pronunciations.
Yeah, Hillary. Oh my
Hillary.
gosh.
He
That's
married
so
Hillary,
cringy.
not Ilaria or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
That was so bad, right? But
that would
I
be
think
so embarrassing.
He was straight up with her. Like they went on a couple of dates, and he said, "Listen, I want to make a family. I was married to Kim Basinger years ago. I had Ireland as the name of his child with Kim Basinger, and she's 35 or something now. And he's like, I haven't had a chance to really enjoy having a family. I want kids. If you're not into having kids right now, let's just call it quits right now. Just know that I'm not sure she knew exactly how many kids he wanted back to back. I think he's had like 8 with her or 7.
What?
But,
oh my god.
They've had a lot of kids like back to back. She's pretty much been pregnant the entire time.
Oh my
But it seems to be fine with her. And he's just churning them out. I think he's got millions in the bank. He's reached a certain age where he can choose whatever projects he wants. He's made all the mistakes he's going to make. Okay, that's silly because he made another big mistake last year when he shot his DP by accident. Okay, that's bad. That's a low blow. But what I mean is, like, he's like, okay, I'm ready to like set up and have a family and be. They're almost like grandpas then, with their kids. They dote over their kids like grandfathers do,
And don't get bent out of shape like young fathers do.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, some people are saying like women can still have children in their 40s. It's not that they cannot, it's just that it is not easy, and that is biologically the reality. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but realistically, if you're like, I really want to have children, you have to consider that. It doesn't mean that there aren't cases or it's impossible, but you can't lie about reality. Like, reality is reality.
Let's move to our last watch of the evening. Now, this is really interesting thoughts. We have to do an eye bashers about this stuff. So now we have Steven Seagal with his Louis Monet. Another big monster watch.
There's a lot going on there.
It's very fancy,
indeed.
isn't it?
It's cool because it's so historical.
Yeah, it's a cross between, it looks like if Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet had a baby.
Yeah, kind of, because the dial is very kind of elegant and small stuff going on, but then that case is so industrial and chunky. I don't know. That's an interesting combination.
And the crown is very Patek or something, isn't it?
That is huge, yeah. The crown.
Really? The crown's huge.
The crown's huge, but look at the decoration on it. Look at the way it's decorated. very interesting. I can do a zoom on it right here. Look, can you see that?
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
I'm wondering why he's wearing a Louis Monet. That's does not seem like, I don't know.
He's
It's
an
a
odd
random
character.
fit.
He's an odd
Yeah, it's a
fella.
weird fit for him, but
It's
I
almost steam.
was
Huh?
reading that it was like especially made for him,
Oh,
but he approved another one to be made that they auctioned off, sold, and it like gave clean drinking water to like 1,400 people or homes in some country. So that's nice, but yeah, the watch itself is a mixture of elegant, but then just like an explosion of bulkiness, big rubber strap. I don't know. I don't love it entirely. I do think it's cool because I'm biased, but
it's a bit like him. He's kind of a contradiction. This guy is still an Akadokist. Like he can still take you down if you try to attack him, but he's also extremely obese. He looks completely out of shape, but he's at the same time a dangerous dude. You know, like he's a serious martial arts guy. This guy, and a weird character, very arrogant, and he meets with weird leader. Didn't he meet with Putin or something? Like he's,
I believe he did.
yeah,
I think he's a big Russian apologist.
yeah. So the watch kind of explains it, doesn't it? It's like, oh, I'm not the fish nor meat, as they say in Italian. I'm kind of somewhere in between.
A conjunction.
I like the watch. I like it. It reminds me of Grubel and Force, those crazy watches that are $500,000. It's kind of odd and massive
Yeah, I see
and
it.
very, very
it
complex.
actually looks good on him. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, it actually looks
Yeah.
good on him too. I think it somehow it suits him.
Looks like we might have a Dirk. I think we do have a Dirk.
Hello, Dirk.
Hey, gang.
How's the cat?
Sorry about all that.
Is everything okay?
Seemingly.
Good.
Seemingly.
What happened? What happened?
I'll make it very brief because I actually had the show on the whole time.
Oh,
I have an older cat and she's got some kind of food allergies, so she's got like tummy problems. So I got into this very high end kind of natural food, and she's been doing great on the cow and the fish. And when I gave her chicken today, things were not going very well for her.
She rejected.
So she rejected it. She wasn't feeling well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she kind of in the last hour or so just kind of ate and went to take a nap, and she seems like she snapped out of it. So now I think she's allergic to chicken. I think that all of her intestinal problems are that she's developed a chicken allergy.
Were you on the way to the vet earlier when you called me?
Very, very close.
Okay.
I mean, I hit the panic button because we had taken a little afternoon nap and she wasn't feeling good. And then when I come the half an hour, she just decided she didn't want to get up. She didn't want to eat, and she always wants to eat. And she had no appetite. So I hit the panic button and I called the vet and almost did it. And they said, why don't you give it a little bit of time and switch out the food, which I did. And she's in bed now. So she ate and she went to sleep. So.
Is
Thank
chicken
God
a
for
normal
that.
part of the diet?
Chicken, listen, I mean, I guess it's like, she's eating this stuff, this food grade human grade cat food now. I guess it's like anybody. You can develop an allergy over time. I'm allergic to coconut. It's the only thing I know that I'm allergic to food wise. But in older cats, they get what's called, I'm not going to get into this whole thing. You guys were really good, by the way. Some of this very funny stuff. I gotta say, Michaela's on fire today.
She's been doing it, yeah.
And it was like I kept going, oh, she wants to say it, say it, say it, say it.
the thing is, you encourage me to say it.
Wow.
Usually,
Because I'm not an AP guy at all either. I think they look like like bricklayers should wear them. I'm not a fan of them at all, but I did think that blue one was gorgeous with the red accents. I love that watch. Beautiful. But the rest of them, I just think they're too origami-ish.
Nathaniel said my AP chrono is too busy.
It's busy. Listen, you either drink the
Aw.
AP Kool-Aid or you don't. And Asheen loves them. And I think that watch is quite beautiful, but they're hard to read. There's a lot of traffic going on in there.
Well, seeing
I
as we
get
have a
it.
Dirk in the room, does that mean we have an unboxing to do, Nathaniel?
Oh.
Do you feel
I
like
would
it?
be happy to do an unboxing. Does Dirk
Okay,
have
so let
time
me
to do
fill
an
everybody
unboxing?
in. One of the reasons Nathaniel was supposed to come on the end of the show, it's supposed to be a regular show with this pair. Can I point the right way? But then Dirk had his little emergency, so Nathaniel stood
Thanks,
in.
Nathaniel. I was so happy too because I knew you were going to do the unboxing, and Paul had just gotten home when all this shit started to hit the fan. I was like, oh, Nathaniel's on, great,
So
great. Thanks for that, man, very
yeah,
much.
so he's been holding off now for a week or more on his
Oh.
unboxing because he knows
2
we're
weeks.
big Omega. 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We're big Omega
Yeah.
fans. Michaela, you can hang around for this if you feel like seeing
Oh,
a beautiful watch.
it's
or
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna
tell us
stay. I
what you
wanna
think.
see.
If you want to stay on, okay, you're happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you on for this.
There's no way she won't think it's beautiful because it is.
Yeah, no, I've been anticipating it now since he showed the pretty bag. So
All right, well, Nathaniel,
Yes,
you have
bags.
center stage. Finally, you've got bags.
Bags plural. Bags plural. So I suppose I should start with the beginning.
Go for it.
I got a new job, and I had saved up a lot of money just in case I didn't get a new job. And having gotten a new job, that meant that I had some money to spend. And what does Nathaniel do when he has money to spend? He
Watches.
either buys a 20-year-old BMW or he buys a watch. And so at the end of June, I was headed back up north from Fort Lauderdale, where I will be working for the next year. And I stopped off to do some watch shopping. And I stopped off at the dealer in Palm Beach Gardens, where I had bought the Rolex Skydweller last year. And I was hoping that I would be able to look at some Calatravas. There's a Calatrava in particular that I had my eye on, white gold, gray dial, lovely watch.
Do you have the reference so I can pull it up?
Oh, shoot.
Calatrava, white
let's
gold,
see.
gray dial. I'll find it. You go ahead.
Okay. It's a current offering. In any case, I'm very compelled by that watch. It's very simple. It's very legible. And it's classy as fuck.
Right.
And this dealer is an authorized dealer for Patek Philippe. So I thought, okay, Calatrava is not a super popular watch line. Maybe if I go, they'll at least have some kind of yes. That's
it?
the one.
Oh, boy.
That's the one that I was going for.
Gorgeous.
And yeah. And it's in the right price range for what I was looking to spend. My budget was up to $50,000.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought, what better way to spend 50,000-ish, well, less, actually, 40 something, than on that. That's a beautiful watch in my eyes.
It is indeed beautiful.
Sadly, they did not have one. And not only that, they said that it would be quite a long time for me to wait to get one. And I didn't want to wait. I wanted to watch then.
You had 50 grand burning a hole in your pocket.
Yes,
that would be a great feeling to have.
exactly.
Like,
well,
I want something now.
It was a great feeling to have. So I bid them a fond farewell, put my name down as an interested person. Apparently, there are already 8 people among their existing clientele who have already bought watches from them, who also want that watch ahead of me. So who knows when or if I will get a phone call from them for that Patek. In any case, I left, had a nice little bottle of water, and went about my day. I thought I was just going to get in the car and continue driving north to Atlanta. But as I walked through the mall, I observed that there was another watch boutique. An Omega watch boutique.
Okay.
And I have not one, but 2 bags from Omega.
They're all
We have one
goodies,
watch.
though. You got one watch, correct?
I got one watch
And a ton of goodies. Let's see the goodies.
and goodies. Well, we're almost there.
Yeah.
So I went in there and I started talking to the manager about why I was there and what kind of stuff I was interested in. I was actually shooting for that Railmaster that I think I discussed with Dirk about a year ago.
The denim one.
The denim Railmaster. I think that's a hell of a watch.
It is.
It's a beautiful thing. It's got those really nice slender hands that I like. It ticks all the right boxes for me. And he did have one of those, but that's not what I bought. We continued talking. He started asking questions about what I do as we made. Yeah, that's the Railmaster in question. That's just beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
So he started asking questions about what I do, and I described a little bit about what I do, and he made some intelligent guesses about the natural consequences of what I do in terms of who I might be working for. And all of a sudden, some more interesting things started coming out from the back that were not on display. Some gold things that were appropriate to my budget. And sent a few messages to Ashin to ask some questions about what I was being presented with, because I am certainly not an encyclopedia of wisdom about Omega. And
you will be now.
It's a good start. It's a good start. So I bought a watch and I got some swag. And the first piece of swag that I was presented with was a hat.
Nice.
It's a very nice hat.
Put it on.
Lovely.
Just joking.
I should put it on.
Oh, we'll see.
Make America great again.
Now you just need to go golfing and you can be like the perfect guy with your polo. Your Omega hat.
Right.
There you go.
It
So
hasn't done a
there's
thing
that.
to your hair, by the way. You don't have you took it off and your hair is exactly the same. Perfect.
I wasn't trying to
I am-
sabotage you.
I am a homosexual. I do use hair product. The next little goodie that I got,
Ooh, what's in there?
that's a
Is
good
that-
question.
Is that the cologne?
No,
No. What is
not
it?
the cologne.
Cufflinks.
I didn't even, not cufflinks. Yeah, that's right. I didn't tell you guys about these
This
goodies.
is. Oh,
No.
I've never seen
was a
this.
surprise
I've
for
seen
you.
the hats before. Oh, what is this?
Wow.
Oh, it's a travel. It's a travel
it's a-
case.
It is
Diary?
not.
We
It's
still
got
don't
a
know
very
what it
nice leather strap thing going on here. This is an official. It's even got a little stamp
Oh, it's a watch
in the
roll.
leather there. If you can see it, it is
Look what
not a
MM
watch
said.
roll.
Oh,
Not a
Omega.
watch roll.
Emma said Omega for the hat.
Omega. Oh, that's
Official
good.
cleaning kit.
Oh, no way.
Oh,
It is a watch cleaning kit.
I've never even seen that before.
Never in my life.
didn't
Meanwhile,
know that they
don't
existed.
use any of that. Just use the wipes that they use for lenses and for glasses.
So in this kit, we have three little things here. We have an unlabeled bottle of spray, which I assume I'm supposed to wet the watch with. We have a little polishing cloth. I guess it's probably microfiber. And yeah, it's a little microfiber cloth. It's got Omega branding right there, although it's hard to see on camera. And we have a coarser microfiber cloth. So that was a fine microfiber cloth. This is a more coarse microfiber cloth. And we have a brush, which has its own little pocket.
Wow.
Come on, come out. Arr. There we go. And it's a nice brush. It's not plastic. It's like horsehair. So very high quality little piece of kit.
All I can think of is like, I don't know. Okay.
And instructions.
Instructions.
How to clean your Omega.
No way.
So
Wow.
there you go.
A
Like I
little
said,
warm
didn't
water.
even know that existed.
No, I didn't either,
Didn't even know that existed.
it's great. It's a great little package, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I
Wow.
go
So
near.
that-
I don't know if I can go near the watch with any of that stuff. But okay, I guess they know best.
Well, I mean, they gave it to me.
Yeah.
So that's free piece of kit number 2. There is another free piece of kit.
What goodies did they give you?
A lot. They gave me a lot of goodies. I have 2 bags. This is a travel pouch.
Oh wow.
Oh, that
Strap
is
has
really
Omega on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super nice. So undo that. Obviously, I've used it a ton. Open it up, and it's got pockets for days. It's just got pockets for everything. At the bottom here, I'm thinking probably toiletries, and then like pens and pencils and stuff, business cards, and then just some mesh pockets up here to put in all and sundry.
Is that nylon?
And, it is a nylon case, and it probably looks black on camera, but it's actually a very subtle brown. And this is also a subtle brown. So it's super nice. I mean, it's just, I imagine it's something that I'll actually use. So as much as I travel. So that's kind of cool.
I love swag. Well, for that kind of money too. I mean, they should have bought you a drink and dinner too.
You know what swag means, right?
Stuff we always get.
Stuff we all get. Yes.
No. We're in rock bands. We know what swag is. It's all about swag.
Sure enough. So that's everything in that bag. And here's this bag. And this bag is considerably heavier. And it's got a little bow at the top, which I retied just for you.
This is because of the watch you got, man. This is like,
Oh yeah.
that's why they gave you this much stuff.
And
Because
this
the watch-
model, by the way, is very, very hard to pin down because you got yellow gold with a black dial, and that isn't even on the website.
Yeah, it's a really hard one to get. That's why they give him all this stuff.
Yeah. Only the
Nice
green
box.
dial. Look at that. Oof. Let's talk about how Omega does presentation like just about no other company. Look at this action. Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
Oh boy.
So there's a little slide out here. It's
That's
got a
right.
book.
With
Yeah.
the red
Lots-
edging, the red edging on the pages.
Red
Yes.
edging. Lots of pretty pictures in here. History stuff.
The history
History of the
stuff. Yeah.
Moonwash.
I totally nerded out.
Yeah.
And here we have a nice, big, solid case, which is much nicer than anything I have ever gotten from Rolex.
It's
Oh, sure.
yeah, way better.
Rolex's box game is just so bad. It's so
So
trash.
It's like a little guitar case. This thing.
Yeah. And this is the smaller one. They used to be double the size of this thing.
Yes, on the moon watch.
This is
yeah.
much better.
Is the watch
So-
in there? Are we going to see it?
The watch is in here.
Oh boy. Oh, look at this. He's got a little peekaboo reveal too.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh,
Oh dear God.
oh. Oh boy.
This is
There
your
we go.
first speed. Oh my God. This is your first Speedmaster, man. You've gone all the way to the
Omega
end of
He went to the
rainbow.
top.
You went all the way to the end. My God.
That's stunning. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is. Oh my god.
It's
Yeah,
so
Nathan-
elegant.
Nathaniel was writing me during this, and he was like, "They've got this one." I was like, "Dude, that's the one that's impossible to get." Let me give a little bit of background here, okay? I was in Lisbon in the Omega boutique, with a heavy hitter sitting next to me who's bought a lot of stuff. So they were giving us the royal treatment. They broke out the champagne, the whole thing. They were showing me watches, and they showed me a gold one on a, I believe it was a rubber strap. Oh my God. And I was like, yeah, I'm not into that one. If you had and the guy goes, stop, I'll guess which one. You're looking for the solid yellow gold panda dial, solid yellow gold. I was like, exactly. And he goes, this is the guy in the suit working for Omega, the head guy. He goes, that's the watch I want, and I can't find it.
Yeah.
I'm just loving how the light catches stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a bracelet done right. Look at that thing. Brushed,
Yeah, and it
polished.
feels so solid.
It better.
So solid.
Solid gold. And I love the new clasp with the
Look at the
striations on the
dial.
back. Look at that dial. Look at the
And
enamel dial.
He got the new type of clasp as well. It's got the push release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's
for those hot
3861.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they
It
came
looks
out with
like
the
$1 million.
3861, it does. When they came out with the 3861s, they didn't all have that.
They
They
didn't?
did that about a year later. They did not. Not the
Oh.
first ones, no. And a lot of people were very mad. They bought some people got the 3861 a year later, and it had the push pull for those hot days when your wrist expands. That's what Nathaniel's got. Look at the dial.
Boy.
I would describe that dial as legible.
Very. That was some funny stuff on there, Nathaniel.
Do you want to swap it for an AP Royal?
He hasn't drank that.
I don't think I
Kool-Aid.
do.
He hasn't been to Jonestown yet.
Dude,
Yeah, that is
I'm a
your
big
first
fan.
Speedmaster. That's hilarious.
for a first. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Are you going to show it on, or is that too slutty?
Oh, he's gonna do it. He's just dragging it out. This
I
is what
know,
we do
so
in
much
these channels.
suspense.
Yeah, this is what we do. It's like it's all porn. First of all, does it have an you have it on the wrist by now.
Does it
I
have
wanna
an
s-
exhibition case back? Yes, it has an
It
exhibition
does.
case
It's
back.
got the 3861 in there. Look at that. Absolutely beautifully finished.
Yeah,
Now,
it's sex.
there are two things that did. One is it reduced the weight a little bit, but by a considerable amount for a gold watch. It's still a heavy watch, but if I had a solid gold case back, that's even extra weight. That's another 20 grams at least, right? And second of all, you can see that sexy movement, that manual wind movement.
Yeah. I mean, that's a 225 gram watch.
Probably around that.
It's pretty
220.
heavy.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy. It's not as heavy as the Yachtmaster, but it's pretty heavy.
No, that's a beastie watch.
Let's see it on the wrist, man.
Oh boy. With a snick.
Here we go.
Snick.
Snip and
Yeah.
snick indeed.
Look at that.
Now the dial seems to be off. It's kind of ivory almost. I know it's gold, but it's kind of reflecting
It's
it.
a light gold.
Yeah, it's like
It's a light
cream.
gold.
It definitely doesn't
creamy-
match the bracelet, but that's on purpose. It's very
Yeah.
pale, like champagne.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost a champagne, yeah.
Vintage champagne.
Yep. Of
Well,
course,
if you're gonna do a
gold
gold watch,
is-
kid.
Yeah.
Look at that.
The gold is the moonshine gold, which has the palladium in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lighter gold. I mean, side by side, right? It's a much lighter gold.
I mean, look how crass that looks now. Look at that, how crass that is.
Yeah, I gotta say the Rolex doesn't. Yeah,
It looks a little 80s, and it looks a little Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know,
The Rolex
Yeah, I think-
gold is much yellower.
the moonshine gold is silver, copper, and palladium to get that hue that they were after.
Yeah.
Very small amounts, obviously, because it's I think it was at 90.2% or something. Look at that thing though. The Yachty looks good, but this is a super class affair right there. Oh God,
Yeah.
I love the clasp. Oh.
Yeah.
Yowza.
And I mean, I've been wearing it almost every day. Not every day, but
As
almost
you
every day.
should. Any scratches yet?
No, which kind of
It always has
surprises
the
me
light to
because
be
I haven't
scratched.
been trying to. I haven't been trying to baby it.
Okay, well, you shouldn't. You're not going to sell it, so wear it.
Yeah,
Wear it in
wear
good
it.
health.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. Michaela, what do you think of that watch?
Stunning, perfect choice.
It's beautiful.
So gorgeous.
If you're going to do gold, you could go the other way. Really good.
Yeah,
Look like
no.
a Gavone and be like, hey, don't let me get the spaghetti and a bottle of Chianti. You're
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
"Ah."
especially when you were comparing it to your Rolex, even though your Rolex is gorgeous, it's just the gold on this it just feels a little more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's
No,
classier.
it's much different.
It's so
much different.
subdued and elegant.
But I do
Really
like
is.
seeing them next to each other.
Yeah.
It's a
It's a
beautiful
lot
sight.
of gold. Yeah, it's a lot
It's
of
a lot
gold
of gold.
in one frame.
You should get a grill now.
I live in
You should
Atlanta,
not.
but I'm not that Atlanta.
Madonna has one.
You know,
Yeah,
this is a
Bless her
classic
heart.
This is an illustration as to the style of Rolex versus Omega, like
Mhm.
the ethos of both brands. Like the Rolex, I know the Yachtmaster 2 is not very good
It doesn't look
representation.
super Rolexy at all now.
It's got Yachtmaster 2 written on the fucking bezel. There's a lot of crassness to that, I guess, in a way, next to the Omega, which has that kind of small, elegant detail going on, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's so the guy in the next yacht can go, Dick has a fucking Yachtmaster.
Yachtmaster is a very Miami watch. I don't know
Miami.
whether this Omega is a Miami watch or not.
No,
I guess we'll
that's
find out, won't we?
very Stade or Monte Carlo. It's very elegant.
Now, can you tell us about the process? Like, they didn't have the full watch in store, correct? They
We
had
did.
it on the rubber. Didn't they have to send out for it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So they had one of these without the bracelet.
Right.
They had one of these on rubber, and the rubber was very comfortable. It was very comfortable. But I learned from Ushin that, in fact, there existed a full gold bracelet version. And so I asked the managers, can I have that on a full gold bracelet, please? And he said, well, probably not. That does exist, but we certainly don't have one, and I don't know that there is one available. I said, well, could you check, please? So we did. And he found, now, first of all, this Omega boutique was part of the Watches of Switzerland umbrella, right?
Okay.
So he went into the Watches of Switzerland computer system, and he searched throughout the United States to see if there was one, and there was one. And it was in the city of Lost Wages.
One. The city in Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
Where else?
And yes, one in the entire Watches of Switzerland network. There was
You got it.
one. And they FedExed it overnight. I got a hotel room nearby and delayed my drive north so that I could go get this watch the next day. So he asked for a deposit of like $9,000 or something, and I gave him that. And then the next day I gave him the rest and got the watch.
Now, isn't it true that the watch?
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man, across the board. Isn't it true that the watch went up in price within a few days?
I was very fortunate. I bought it on June 30th, and it went up in price on July 1st. I have the screenshots of the 2 days of the website. So this,
It doesn't matter because you can't get it anyway.
right.
Yeah, but
this
if you're gonna
was-
get it and save $5,000,
This was June 30th, and notice the price
41,
is 41.4.
41.4. Okay,
Right?
plus tax.
That's what I bought it for.
Okay,
Plus tax, it was like 43.8,
okay.
including tax. And then the very next day, July 1st,
Hello, kid. Wow.
43.7.
Jesus.
Wow.
So
That's awesome, man.
Saved $2,300 plus tax. And as far as what it's worth, honestly, I don't know, but I can tell you that as of the other day, looking on Chrono 24, there did not exist one for sale in the United States used.
Wow.
There are
not
5
around.
listings. There are 5 listings on Chrono. 3 of those listings say watch has to be acquired, which means they don't have it.
Right.
And the remaining 2 listings are in Europe.
It's true. It's a very hard watch to find that particular configuration. There are others that are findable. The next down in line would be that exact watch on the rubber, which is still very hard to get. And if you're offered one, anybody watching, if you're offered, take it. But obviously, the rubber strap can be gotten at a later point. You can actually order it from Omega, and it's way cheaper than buying the gold. Obviously, the price difference on those watches, I don't know what the one on the rubber is, about 26, I think, something like that. It's a lot less
It's
gold.
a chunk less.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the hard one to get. The other configurations, I'll pull them up.
There's the Sedna Gold with the green dial.
Yes.
This one's the 310 60 4250 99 22 002. Then the Sedna Gold is 3, right? 003 001 001. I actually had to look. Sorry, I cheated just now because I wasn't sure.
Okay, you're forgiven because they're such long.
Yeah.
References.
Well, they I mean, there is a madness in there. There's method to the madness. Yeah, the green on Moonshine is 41.6 right now, and the other big player would be the Sedna Gold. That one, and that's 41.6 also. Look at that with the all black dial. That's 310 60 42 50 01 001 001 001.
Okay, so here's the others. Have you got them there on the screen? Yeah, you do, I think.
Yeah,
see them?
we see them. Yeah.
So this is I was, what was I offered? I think I was offered this in Lisbon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful watch,
Tis.
but a lot less legible, and of course those subdials just don't stand out.
No.
This is the one that Nathaniel originally tried on the rubber. I have to say, on rubber,
Reveal the
sure.
price.
Reveal the price. 34.5 in euros.
Okay.
So you're probably talking 33, 34 in dollars, because then there's the tax. We don't do that whole dance with the tax. It's just in there. So that's just factor that in. This is also, it was a very popular one when it came out, the green dial. But again, the green doesn't have, if those subdials were gold against the green, it would be a lot more. It would be a lot cooler. That one's 32 too.
I do like that one though.
It is beautiful. Shit, I wouldn't say no to any of these. Let's face it. I also like the rose gold one. This is the first one that came out a couple of years ago.
It's beautiful.
That's a beaut as well. That's Sedna Gold, rose gold. Their version of
I
rose
love
gold.
rose gold.
Yeah, me
So
too.
pretty.
Yeah.
So
And they're all doing
what-
rose gold beautifully too. There it is.
This is it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's
And
the
there
euro price these days?
Let's have a look. 47.7. That's about 51.
That is a lot more.
51. It's a lot more. It's a lot more.
That's a lot more than here.
Yeah, you could. It's so much more when you get up to these watches with Omega. It's so much more that you could take a flight to the States if you were willing to walk through customs and not declare it and take that risk. Fine, it's a lot less risk with an Omega than it is with a Richard Mille or with an Audemars Piguet. Okay, because they're trained in London Heathrow. They're trained to spot the shape of the boxes and so on. For those, because with Richard Mille, you could be walking through with $1 million, and you're hiding $1 million. That's the problem. But it's a lot more over here. I mean, 47.7 in dollars is 51, 52. In dollars. So, stunner, absolute stunner, man. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like you've gone all the way to the end of the rainbow, dude. Like there are so many other Speedmasters that are not going to interest you in any way now. You know what I mean?
You've spoiled yourself.
I did kind of spoil myself. Yeah.
So I just want to offer you a Any of them. No, but seriously, it's monumental, dude. Well done. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm
Fantastic.
pretty happy about it. I did not think this was going to be my first Omega, but here we are. So, there you go.
Has Laverne the cat vomited again? Dirk
Maybe.
is gone.
Hmm.
No, that's great, man. And it's great the experience they gave you and gave you all that swag and all that stuff. You know,
Yeah, it's great.
it's a
It
good
was very
purchasing.
good.
When
And I
you're
didn't
buying that
ask
kind of
for
watch,
any of it. Didn't ask for any of it. They just volunteered all that stuff. So,
you just gave them 45 grand. That's all you did.
true fact.
That's crazy. Just to end the show, just really quickly, I want to take a curveball straight back. That's amazing, old boxing, Nathaniel. Congratulations.
Thank you for that.
Just
We don't have to go on OnlyFans now because you just did it for us.
Yeah,
You took us on a journey.
I need a
honestly.
pizza. I need something to eat now. I'm hungry.
I did get a nice bottle of wine, so
From
I'll
them?
be enjoying that. No,
For
no,
yourself.
from a liquor store for myself.
Well,
I'll
you-
go get that too.
Yeah, because we're wine snobs, so you have to tell us what it is now.
Are you a wine snob, Michaela?
I am a very entry level wine snob.
Just hang with us,
So-
kiddo.
No, I've just been over the last couple of years, I would say 3 years, I've gained an interest in it. I am not going to talk about it because I'm not knowledgeable yet, and there's just so much that goes into it. But I find it to be very, I really enjoy it.
Mhm.
And there's this German YouTuber that I follow. I forgot his name, but he has been teaching me a lot.
It's a lot of info out there.
We can teach you a lot.
Definitely.
Please do. No, I really would be interested in that, actually.
I just want to circle back to the conversation before Dirk came on because I missed him in that conversation about the age gap. I know this is totally back going.
I heard it all.
reversing. You heard it all.
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren
I
is
love-
65.
Can
marrying
I
a
just say,
25-year-old.
first of all, what a bang in that shot. He looks great, better than he's ever looked. He's
Let's see if I can
rugged,
find him
masculine. I've never thought he was attractive because I don't go for the blonde, Nordic types, but he looked absolutely great. Yeah, the t-shirt was unfortunate. I mean, I
Thank
get
you.
what people are trying to do with that whole shebang too.
But,
But, like,
stop.
Totally the wrong shirt. It was totally wrong. But it looks great. That watch looks great on him. Look how chiseled his jaw looks. He looks now if this is a guy that's trying to pick up a 25-year-old girl and he's got a yacht moored off of Saint-Tropez. Sure. I mean,
Yeah, like you could do worse as a 25-year-old hot girl.
believe me, and 99.999% of them do worse because nobody looks like that with that, come on.
Yeah,
They're
I
going
mean,
out with like the guys like Sheldon Adelstein, that's what he looks like.
right.
That's what they look like.
A melted candle.
Melted, yeah, they look like melted candles. They don't look like this rugged. Man, that's a man. He's
Such a
65 or
grotesque.
62. Yeah, it's gross. You know what's really killing me most about this, Michaela, is the sloppy way that the shirt is tucked into the pant. Please put a belt on.
I know.
If you're gonna wear a t-shirt,
Put a
you
belt
gotta
on.
have a belt on. My
You're
God.
so right. Yeah, you have to add it's like a stamp of
I gotta
approval
remember
for the
that. I
outfit.
gotta remember that if I ever have to resort to that. Now, might he wear that because he's at an event that's very warm, very hot?
It's
and he just-
Macau. Who knows where he is? Yeah, it could be.
he has to take the jacket off just after the photographs, maybe.
Sure. I get it.
Or maybe
Well, I
he's got
can't
these big buff arms he's been working on as a 65-year-old and he wants to show them off later. No?
Right.
I'm trying to
I
give
can't
the
tell
guy
you the
excuses.
exact right shirt for this outfit, but this is not the right shirt.
It's not the right shirt. When she
It's
said
not
that,
the
I
right-
went, "Oh, preach, girl, preach."
I was
Yeah,
like, if Dirk was here, he would agree with me.
totally. I went, "Oh." I knew she was going to say it too. I said, "Oh, she's going to talk about that t-shirt."
But
Hey, at least his
40
t-shirt's not
40-year
under a
gap-
dress shirt.
A 40-year gap.
Yeah, that's rough. But hey, like she said earlier, and I listened to how succinct and how careful she was. Listen, 25. If you're 25, you're an adult woman, and if you're okay with it, that's her business.
Right.
But we can all sit around and judge. But you know what? Listen, if you're a 65-year-old guy and you look like that and you have a beautiful, how old is John Hamm's wife? She's what, 25 years younger than he?
No. I think what is she, 30 something and he's 50 something?
He's
There's
20
like a
some odd years. All right,
Oh,
40
okay,
is
maybe it's
different.
20. Yeah, okay.
40 is different, but hey, if both parties are willing, these are consenting adults. They do what they want to do, as long as people aren't getting hurt, and that's their business.
Yeah,
He's
it
an
may
attractive
fall
guy.
apart.
He
It may
might,
fall
yeah.
apart, but it's one of those things that you just have to let people.
Yeah,
you
she
have to
should
let
get a
people-
Birkin out of it though, or a Kelly out of it. That's what I think.
She'll get that. She'll walk away with the bag.
I'm
at
so
least-
bored of those.
I know, but you could sell it.
It's such a status symbol. That's what it is.
They
but
are. I
nowadays
prefer the
there's-
Kelly anyway. I think it's prettier.
Yeah, the whole Birkin thing. It's created this thing where I don't know if you've heard of the whole DH fakes, whatever, but people have been starting to go on these influencers' Instagram and spotting every little tiny detail when they zoom in on their Birkin or their Kelly, usually the Birkin, especially these like exotic, interesting ones they're getting, and they'll see like the stitching's off a little and they'll call them out in public. Like they're getting called out for carrying fakes. It's like,
well, I mean, it is an incredibly exorbitantly priced bag. So the people, and first of all, you have to talk about exclusivity. I have a friend, very well, my beautiful friend Kate, who's a gorgeous woman, and she has the key to the bag room because she had a vintage Hermes watch. They saw it, they wanted to get involved with her in some way, and she's like, well, I want a bag. And now she's got carte blanche. She's got every single one of those bags, the denim one, all of them. And they're like $20,000-$30,000, some of them even more, ostrich and crazy hides. I mean, it's like watches, I guess. Luxury goods, what constitutes the price for a luxury good? I mean, gold, sure. Precious metals, sure. But when they're not made out of those things, what justifies the price? Demand. And everybody wants one of those bags. All the rap girls and the influencer girls, they can't be seen without one. That's why they have all these online fashion outlets where you can rent bags. I think they even included that in Sex and the City in one of the movies where Jennifer Hudson.
It's not a bag, it's a Birkin. Isn't that the same?
Right, yeah, that kind of shit, I mean,
well, it's just interesting because very sophisticated women have worn Birkins, but also people like Catherine, Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton will wear Aspinall of London, a small English brand. So
as she should,
Yeah, it's understated elegance, and the Birkin. It's not that it's inelegant at all. I'm just so tired of seeing it. It's just one of those things. It's just not.
Yeah. It's flappy. It's got
even
those three
Jane
big
Birkin
flaps on
didn't
them.
like the Birkin.
She didn't.
She didn't even like it. She's like, okay.
Do you guys know what
so
those
much
flaps
for
were
starting
for?
this.
Do you know what those flaps were for? Baby bottles. Because she was a young mother.
Yeah, but it's okay. I get it. It's just they resell for way more because it's hard to actually get one through MS. So
it's impossible.
interesting. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of celebrities, they're not even able to get them through MS. So they are able to afford them.
Yeah,
buying
so they
them.
buy them.
Yeah, and they can pay whatever $100,000.
They go on the Chrono 24 of bags.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah, you have
Whatever
to spend
that
about $100,000 at Hermes now if you want one of those before you're even considered. It's the same thing as Rolex.
Yeah.
Before you're even put on the list, you have to be dropping a certain amount of money. You're almost better off just paying the market price and getting one from a gray market seller.
Yes, because
as long
then
as you know it's
actually
real.
Select. Well, then you can be more selective because the sales associates, they don't. Most of the time, I hear that they don't let you pick the Birkin you actually are going to get. They just give you one and they're like, you're lucky.
You better
this is
take
the one
it.
you
This
get,
one.
and it's like yellow with pink polka dots on it. You're like, I love it. I
love
spent
it.
$100,000 to get this bag, and now I have to spend another 40. Okay, I love it. It's just ugly.
The same thing happens with Rolex. It's very hard to ask for exactly the one you want. And with Patek, the one that comes in, they're like, do you want this one? Because this is what we got. Take it. If you really want a certain configuration, a particular watch from Rolex, quite often it's just easier to go to the grade because they have them all. They're way more money, but they've got them all.
Yeah. Or go to DHgate.
Yeah.
Go to DHgate and buy a fake one. I can only imagine how bad it is with fake bags. I can only imagine.
It's got to be 10 times worse than watches.
I mean, do they go to YouTube to look up like how to spot the difference? You know, are there people comparing? Probably, right?
Probably. That's right. It's
Anyway,
true.
I just thought it was an interesting conversation about the age gap and all of that
Oh
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well,
It's interesting stuff. Probably for the eye bashers more than this show, but I just thought
you don't see the girls doing it really. You don't see the older ladies going with the, 25-year-olds. Not like the men do it. The men have the corner on that. They still and always will.
It's
They
just
always will.
different. It's just different because
Totally
what you
different.
want from a man as a female is much different than what a man wants from a woman. So
Correct. Yeah.
when it's just such a severe age gap from an older woman with a younger guy, it's just kind of one of those things where the biological interest that women have in men, it's not that they don't exist in a younger man like in their 20s, but it's like there's no feeling of leadership at all. But anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent.
No,
but
that's that angle that you just pulled out of the hat was not where I thought you were going, but holy crap, that's what a mature woman would say. Fantastic. It's great to hear that. It's great to hear that.
I
Because,
really want to just
to be crass,
say.
the guys are just in it for, she's got firm boobs.
Ray
to be
Ray's asking
crass,
me a question. He said, Michaela, socks with or without sandals and a new wife beater, asking for a friend. You don't think I know what you're doing, Ray Ray. I know what you're doing. Wear whatever you want, okay? You're a beautiful person, I'm sure.
We love Ray Ray.
I'm
You be
sure.
you, boo.
That's what like male friends in my life, they'll watch my videos and then they'll get offended. They're like, Michaela, I wear this, I wear that. They show up and they tease me and I just tease them right back. Like, it's okay. You don't have to agree with my style opinion. Just have fun. I still love you. I'm just talking about if you want to look 10 out of 10. That's it.
Daniel Gutierrez says, does the Speedy seem sharp?
It's funny you should ask, Daniel, because this guy right there asked that very question as I was driving away from the store. No, it is not
Chris.
in any way sharp.
Yeah.
It
thanks,
is
God.
silky from every side. And so now we know that they haven't farmed out all of their manufacturing to China.
Exactly.
Is that a fact? Do we know that that's true now?
No, it's just our best guess. That's all we can do.
Oh man, that would be just the most horrible thing to digest.
I think it's true. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. That was awesome.
Nope.
Very interesting.
Nope.
No? What?
Alcohol.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
So,
Was it? Oh, the bottle.
Omega-
The bottle.
Omega did actually give me a bottle of whiskey, but that's long gone. So
Were you with O'Sheen?
Oh, he got an Opus One.
Oh.
Oh, an overture by Opus One. Nice, man.
yes.
He hadn't even taken the tape.
So this is
I have a
Rothschild
second
and
tape.
Robert Mondavi got together and made a great wine. Now,
They actually took the clippings of the grapes from the vineyards in France and moved them to California.
That's right.
I've never had Overture.
no, me neither.
It's pretty good.
I've never had it. What's the alcohol on that? 14
14.
flat.
14%.
Very nice.
Versus 15.5, I would say, on a regular Opus. Yeah, nice bottle, man.
Beautiful. Yeah, we don't really go for much California Red, but we do go for the Opus.
We like the Opus. We've had a lot of Opus, man.
A lot of Opus. Right?
I used to buy them from that guy in New York who would steal them from his father's restaurant. Remember that?
Love that guy. Those were good times, man.
We had a lot of
Had
Opus.
a lot of
in the early
Opus.
2000s. Oh my
Not
God.
so good for his father.
No.
One day we should
75
just pull out
bucks.
all the screenshots, all the table screenshots of all the bottles we've had over at Dana and Emmett's house. We'd have 6 bottles of the sickest shit there is,
Oh my God.
and we'd drink it all.
Yeah. Great nights. Good nights.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Had a
Well,
apartment.
congratulations, man. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful watch. Well done. Fantastic. Spaniard with a super chat at the very end. Michaela, I'm 5'9", 150. Any fashion tips for me? I'm a small fella.
Yes, don't wear t-shirts. Stick to like button up, whether it's a short sleeve shirt or a long sleeve shirt, something fitted. It doesn't matter if you're not built or anything. You can just still wear fitted clothes, and you should. Don't worry about it making you, if you feel like it makes you like accentuates the fact that you're not big. I don't know you, so I don't really know. what we're working with here, but don't worry about that. Dress smart. Throw away anything too casual because that makes you look nerdy. Not you, but just in general, kind of like nerdy and unkempt. And if you're a smaller guy, 5'9" is not that short or anything.
Average height.
But yeah, but I don't know like how it appears on you, on your body, because you could still be pretty small. But yeah, wear nicer clothes, wear trousers instead of fitted jeans. Things like that. Just dress more masculine, and the way you carry yourself in your clothes is going to be really important. But that's a long thing to explain, but yeah, just don't wear t-shirts. That's my first one. If you're at home, it's fine. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like t-shirts.
T-shirts have their place, just not there.
Oh yeah, of course. It's not like you can never, but I'm talking about, let's say you're going on a lunch date or something. Don't wear a t-shirt. Wear a polo. You see what Nathaniel's wearing?
Polo, yeah.
That's a good thing to wear for a guy. You have polos, different colors, different materials. You can get things that are a little more, like if it's a hot day, a little thinner material, more breathable. There's a lot. But that's like a whole video. Hopefully that was some bit of help for you, but thank you for asking.
Yeah, we should do a video on tall guys versus short guys and what they should wear and so on. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, guys. Great show. Thanks so much. Thank you, Nathaniel, for standing in.
Thanks so much,
Dirk,
man. That was so great.
And thank you, Michaela, as always. Guys, sub to Michaela's channel, Maison de Chatillon. It is in the description of the video. It's right under the video. I made that mistake before by not putting it into the description. It's right below. Also, the Watch Fashion Police is a channel of its own, and if you're looking for the old episodes of Watch Fashion Police over the past few weeks, you won't find them on my channel much anymore. Over the next few days, I'm going to start deleting them and leaving them over on that channel because I want to move things over there. Okay, so start subbing over there to the Watch Fashion Police. That is also in the video description, and go over there and sub if you enjoy our Monday night chat about fashion and watches and all of that good stuff. Thank you again, all. And here comes our outro.